stepping stone to making the program better and continuing to grow the program. So, yeah, 6 wins is a big deal.
Last week they got run off the field by the Division II Player of the Week, Gabe Watson, who rushed for 320 yards. I think he just scored another touchdown. He had 5 last week, deservedly so. What do the Dragons have to do? We'll get some keys to the victory, but they have to come here ready to play today, correct?
Defensively, they need to, when they make contact with any of the ball carriers, they need to tackle. Last week, they found it hard to tackle Gabe Watson.
Yeah, was Gabe Watson that good, or should we read something else into it?
I think he's that good, but that's my opinion.
Again, 19 carries, 320 yards, and 5 touchdowns for Gabe Watson last week as the Dragons fell to the University of Sioux Falls, but now a different kind of, I like to look at it as challenge. Even though Minot State's down, they're a one-win team. It's still a challenge. Minot State thinks they can win this game.
Well, you have to play the game. They kick off, and they're going to definitely be out here because they think they can win this game, yes.
All right, the third member of our broadcast team is Alexis Kennedy. Lexi, drop some knowledge on us.
Hi, guys. Well, I have to say I was pretty pleasantly surprised when I woke up this morning. The sun was shining. I thought we were going to have a beautiful day. Sun has gone away now, so I'm thinking that front of the rain's coming in might play an effect in today's game. Guys?
Alexis, while you're downstairs, there's always sunshine in the air. It is overcast. There is rain on its way. Alex Nelson and I, our director, who's back this week, a little bout of the something last week. We have a running bet. He's got 2 o'clock, I got 4 o'clock. The radar looks in favor of Alex.
Right now, I don't know if you guys were betting, but I would say I'd throw my money on 2:15.
Joe Chesvold with the approach, and he's proving that it's a little windy outside. There's some light rain. I don't think there's going to be storms, so there could be a little precipitation, but nothing to gravely affect this game.
That was evident right there with the ball blowing off the tee, Steve, that the wind did pick up. There was none an hour ago.
Chesvold has what breeze there is, and he's going to prove that as he's going to drive Lane Torgerson through the end zone, and Minot State will start. Don, we teased our good fans with the keys to a victory. What exactly are they this week?
Definitely have to be ready from kickoff, like every game. But here, defensively, they need to tackle. They didn't tackle last week, and it caused some problems.
Yeah, last week, Steve Lockway uses the term flush.
Yes.
We use the term forget. That's a loss. And like Steve said after Duluth, 60-7 is one loss the last time he checked the record book.
Right. It doesn't matter if it's 1 or 100 points. It's still an L in the column.
Minot native Ben Bolinski, number 2, is the quarterback for Minot State. He's in the gun, and he's going to look to throw on first down. He does. He'll hit Lofton Kablundi. His 8th catch this season, Don. There on your left are your starters. There's Ben Bolinski. You know a little bit about him.
Yeah, Ben was a state champion at Minot High, and there he just completed a pass to Klabunde, who also played high school ball at Minot High.
Starting lineups are presented by Sodexo. It's 2nd and 4 after the 6-yard pickup. Bolinski. A little shovel. This is Lane Torgerson. He's got some speed. He's normally a wide receiver. Jerry Ray hits him, but not until Torgerson gets across midfield. He's the leading rusher on this team, approaching 300 yards. He's one of their better wide receivers, but because of dissension, kids quitting, kids getting hurt, Torgerson's their feature running back.
And that was lineup as he lined up over the tackle. So he was about 4 yards away from Bolinski. Quick little pitch to the outside.
1st and 10. Torgerson right at the middle. Sheds a tackle. Trying to shed another tackle, but Jerry Ray is going to get a 2-point takedown. His 2nd tackle, a 4-yard pickup, and there's that wrap up and take down that you were preaching a lot last week.
Well, and they get a hand on him, and there Shad Veda was able to get a hand on the running back and Torgerson and then drag him down. But yes, last week they would get a touch on the running backs. They just weren't able to grab on and hold on.
There were a couple times that Gabe Watson was untouched. It's 2nd and 6 inside the Dragon 40-yard line. The Dragons are in their reds. Minot in their whites. There's a throw to the far side. It's complete to Damon Short. And Short should have been a short gain. Instead, he's going to get 7 yards and a first down.
There is what we've been talking about for the Dragons. They were on the play. 1, 2, 3 guys. Everybody missed a tackle there. You've got to go get the legs, guys. You got to make some tackles out on the perimeter.
Yeah, Vita again was there, but couldn't take him down. It's 1st and 10 for Minot State. Opening drive, 12:45 remaining here in the first quarter. Bolinski wants to throw it. Incomplete. He had a man wide open. He had Lofton Kablundi, who fumbled that ball away. Let's take a look at the Dragons starters. There's Matt Domick. He's had a solid season. Quietly, Gerald Smith has done well on the defensive line. Aaron Doan playing out his final games as a Dragon. At least getting to 6 wins is important to that guy, and Jerry Ray.
No doubt about that. And Michael Strand, who moved from safety up to linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
All those guys want to make sure that they get a winning season.
Doan and Strand, 1 and 2 in tackles coming into this week. It's 2nd and 10. There's that read option, and Bolinski gets blasted. He was chased out of bounds by DeAndre Taylor. And making the hit for the Dragons that time, coming up was Alec Gofford. He made the huge play against Wayne State a couple of weeks ago in the Heartland in overtime.
And Jeff Stith was out there, and he was stringing things out for the Dragon defensive line. Nice job by the Dragon defensive line. Defensive ends being able to string that play out to the sideline for no gain. Actually, a loss on that play.
Loss of 6. It's 3rd and 16. Minot State converts 3rd downs at just 31%. High snap, blitz. They go to the middle screen. There's nobody blocking for Torgerson, but he sheds a tackle. Now he's going to get hit. And that time, I think it was Vita. And that time he wrapped up.
Matt Domek got the first hit on him, but again, couldn't wrap him up on the first hit. Vita makes the tackle, and Matt Show out there also.
So it's 4th down, and you're in that no man's land if you're Minot State. They have a kicker in Jose Luis Moreno, who's made a 58-yard field goal this year. This would be a 47-48 yarder, but into that little wind, so they're going to go for it.
Yeah, 4th and 8, 4th and 9, or 8, I mean.
6 on the play clock. They're trying to get the Dragons to jump. They don't. Bolinski, the high snap. Here comes Smith. He'll throw. Torgerson, incomplete. DeAndre Taylor in the neighborhood. The Dragons bent, but they didn't break.
Yes, and that is a welcome sign for the defense of the Dragons. Last week, first 5 possessions that Sioux Falls had on the Dragons, first 6 possessions, they scored on the Dragons. This is a welcome sight for the defensive side of the ball, and the Dragons all dressed in red today. It looks very sharp.
The Dragons have been outscored 88-45 in the first quarter. Minot State 82-23. Bryce Meals, the quarterback. He'll pitch it. Near side, Zach Simons. So Sinani got banged up last week as we take a look at the starters. And you see Bryce Meal, who started this season as the Dragons starting quarterback, and Herman Gray. So even though Sinani's out, it's a good time for Bryce Meal to be healthy.
Oh, no doubt about that, and he did a fine job last week in his spot play as he came in, took over for Sinani.
Simons, loose. Simons, a first down and more, so he'll pick up 14. Starting lineups presented by Sodexo. You see some scores, as you'll see Zach Simons scrolling through the Minot State secondary, the scores at the bottom of the screen, and they are presented by Matt Buss. 1st and 10 for the Dragons. Middle of the field, moving from right to left at the 46-yard line. 10:20 remaining here in the first quarter. Simons gets stopped this time. Good tackle by Keontae Goudreau. He's a senior as well from Huntington Beach, California. Didn't we have a boatload of Californians last week?
Yeah, a lot of Californians and, kids from all over the country at Sioux Falls College, but same for the Beavers. They have 12 local talented kids from North Dakota on the team, but just a plethora of out-of-state kids.
Meal wants to put it up. Now he wants to run. Oh, that's a great open field tackle. That's Justin Coleman, just a freshman out of Mesa, Arizona. I don't care where he comes from. That was terrific.
Unbelievable, and he broke on that ball, did not give the quarterback, Bryce Meal, any room. He broke down and made that play out in the perimeter and behind the line of scrimmage. Great tackle.
There's the starting defense for Minot State, again presented by Sodexo. They show blitz. Ryan DeMaury, you saw him on the screen. Here he comes. They rush 6. Meal's in trouble. Escapes a tackle, gets a block. Now it's Meal. Can he get a first down? He gets a great block from Zach Sweet. Meal's still on the run. He gets tripped up at a first down. What a great block by Zach Sweet, who found the field. Then he located Justin Coleman as we take a look, Don. Watch 5 for the Dragons on the near side. Bryce, I'm going to run around. Look like Marcus Allen in the Super Bowl. There's the block right there, maybe the takedown by Sweet. And that allowed Meal to get the first down. None of this going out of bounds stuff.
Right on. Great job by Bryce.
So the Dragons convert a 3rd and forever. Meal still looking to throw his first pass. Does, and he's got Bresnahan. He's looking for a block from Trent Marquardt. Gets it. Bresnahan searching for the end zone. He still gets inside the 5, and the Dragons are in business here midway through this first quarter.
Here we're going to see Bryce Meal with his legs and his escapability here from the pressure, keeping his eyes downfield, and finds Bresnahan on the sideline. Now there, Grady does a nice job of coming back to the ball, making himself available, and Bryce is able to throw a strike right in the middle of his number.
Simons running the Wildcat. Zach driving. He'll get to the 1. This is what Zach Simons does. He has 9 touchdowns this season. Most of them have come out of this Wildcat look.
Yeah, and when they have first and goal in the red zone like this, he is a pounder. For a big kid, 6'1", 220.
He's pounding. He's pounding. He's in the end zone. Touchdown. The Dragons on the board and take the lead.
Very nice job by the Dragons. Solid drive for them. Dragons 6 plays, 67 yards. Chew up a little bit of that clock, and then Zach Simons takes it right in behind that nice job, or nice big offensive line that we're able to give time to him and to Bryce Meal to get those throws off.
This has pretty much been a stress-free position. The kicker, Chesvold, has been solid this season, and he tacks on the extra point. 7:48 remaining in the first quarter. Each team has had the ball. The Dragons have a score.
This is Dragons Live.
Update or download to the all-new MSUM Dragons app on iTunes and Google Play. The new app features customized following of only your favorite Dragons teams, incredible in-app live stats and media coverage, and our fired-up rewards program all in one easy-to-use app. Update your Dragons app, search MSUM in your app store, or visit msumdragons.com/app to download the new MSUM Dragons app today.
Dragon fans, Matt Buss has been serving the Fargo-Moorhead area since 1974, and new from Matt Buss is Link FM. It's the fun, fast, and free way to get around downtown. For more information, go to www.mattbus.com. Try it today. Go green and ride Matt Buss. The Dragons look like Link FM on that opening drive.
Oh, yeah, they just kept connecting and making positive plays outside of a couple of tackles behind the line of scrimmage, but mostly positive plays and getting upfield.
Torgerson fumbled it, realized he was outside the end zone, and then had to bring it out. Let's take a look. There's Ben Bolinski. You mentioned him. You know what? Bryce Meal played against Crookston and then Duluth and Sioux Falls, so he's certainly battle-tested, and his numbers aren't that bad.
No.
Actually, they're pretty good.
Right. He's 1-1, and he's got a 63.9% completion percentage, so Bryce knows how to manage the game very well. He knows the offense well, too.
Yeah, if you look at those numbers, they're not Drew Brees. But
no.
The Dragons don't want Drew Brees. They want Bryce Meal. This is Lee Webb, a freshman from Stockton, California. He gets 11 yards, and a lot of weight room gets him the first down. He was
Right,
tugging those legs.
he's packed in really tight, folks. He's 5'6", 185 pounds. You put 185 pounds on a 5'6" body, he
Those are
is
some
loaded up.
thick
yeah.
legs.
Oh, no doubt. And he powered through 3 or 4 would-be tacklers.
First and 10 for Minot State. Their only win at home against Mary this year. Mary, winless. High snap again. Bolinski brings the ball down, being chased by a couple of Dragons. And he'll get forced out of bounds. These plays are all blowing up in Minot State's faces, Don, from the get-go.
Well,
all these snaps are over Bolinski's head from freshman center Donovan Moore.
Well, and he has to corral the ball, and that just gives the defensive lineman an opportunity to put some pressure on him, and he can't keep his eyes downfield when he wants to pass. So there he had to escape. Great tackle by Gerald Smith out on the perimeter.
He still picked up 4. 2nd and 6, 6:35 remaining first quarter. The Dragons lead Minot State 7-0. Bolinski being chased by Darius Wood-Stike in, and nearly coming up with the interception for the Dragons was DeAndre Wade. I'll bet you a beer or two that he'd like to have that one back.
Oh, that one bounced right up here, folks. Watch this. Ball right off the receiver's hands,
Tip drill.
and DeAndre almost picks it off the heels there.
Speaking of heels, Don, I think his foot hit the heel of Webb. And I think he tripped up just a little bit.
Yep, enough that he couldn't corral it.
I believe that's Taylor Thurs, our favorite Wisconsin, on the camera, getting us that great shot. It's 3rd and 6. Strand on a blitz. Bolinski running for his life, throwing it. Great coverage downfield by Gofford. Minot State will have to punt it away.
Nice defensive stand again by the Dragons, doing things right, keeping things contained.
Yeah.
And that's number one. They need to keep it contained, and they have tackled when they needed to.
So here comes a guy who's been doing his job. This is Jose Luis Moreno. Not only does he have a 58-yard field goal this year, he's first in the NSIC, averaging nearly 43 yards per punt. The Dragons have 10 on the line of scrimmage. They'll let Moreno kick it. Fair catch made by Bresnahan. That's 43 yards.
Right to his average.
That's his average.
And that was a pretty kick. He definitely has great form and kicks it with a lot of height too.
They're the Dragons. They're a game behind Minnesota Duluth. If Minnesota Duluth were to stumble and the Dragons run the table, then they would be crowned co-champions. That's the way it works. Just the divisional games count towards the divisional standings. Minnesota Duluth's number 1 in the region. They're looking for bigger and better things, maybe a national championship. But keep in mind, because we played games against the Dragons and played games against the South the last 4 weeks, there's still a race going on, and the Dragons are a game behind. Now, they got Minot today. You got to take care of business, right? Mm-hmm. Then you focus on Bemidji, who's lost 2 in a row.
Yep.
And St. Cloud State is in the regional rankings. So some tough tasks to finish the season, but still a lot of great things can happen this year for the Dragons.
And definitely doable. We've seen the Dragons play exceptionally well when they don't make a lot of mistakes and they're tackling well on defense. They can play with any team in the country.
We were talking about the standings. Zach Sweep was running the ball.
On a sweep.
And
there was a holding.
That's Don Groth using the English language to its maximum. And the Dragons got called for, I believe, an illegal procedure. Or maybe a hold downfield. Either way, it's first and 13, so it was a hold downfield. This is Bresnahan, and he'll stumble down. He might have even lost a yard. Good pursuit that time by Michael Bradford out of Linwood, California. And Derek Wax, he's one of the 12, one of the dozen from North Dakota. He's from Bismarck.
Yeah, from Bismarck, yes. And he helped string that play out, and not Grady Bresnahan had nowhere to go, just trying to find the edge, and he could never get there.
Neal wants to put it up. Bryce Escapability. Jump ball, incomplete. He threw it up towards Ryan Harvey Turner, who checked in at 6'3". If he was 6'4", he might have gotten this. Here's Meal, his escapability, and a good throw downfield. That ball should have been caught. It would have been tough, but it could have been caught.
Oh, yeah. It hit his hands. He maybe just didn't time his jump quite right.
All of your replays provided by Mid-Continent Communication. 3rd and 14. Minot State showing blitz. It's Wax. Here he comes. Meal, a little jump throw. He was looking for Jake Richter, who was quieted down by Sioux Falls last week, and now the Beavers get a stop.
Well, and you bring up Richter on that. They've got man-to-man coverage, and they have somebody in his face the whole way, and they're chucking him at the line. They don't want to let him come off clean, because that's where Jake's really dangerous, when he's able to get into his route and be open for the quarterbacks.
10 on the line of scrimmage. Oxendorf has had 2 blocked this year. Here come the Beavers. Oh, good kick. Big booming kick. Torgerson lets this bounce. Torgerson's going to watch this ball roll. Inside the 10. That's 67 yards. Some may say 67's a good year. Then they're reminded that's the year I was born. But I know 67's a good number for a punter.
That is an excellent number. He uncorked one, got it up into the jet stream just a little bit, but it was almost a perfect spiral. And that when it did hit the ground, it just rolled and rolled and rolled. Great punt, great flip of the field for the Dragons.
4:56 remaining first quarter with Alexis Kennedy down on the field. Alongside Don Groth, I am merely Steve DeStatio enjoying some NSIC North football between the Dragons and Minot State. Torgerson picks up 3 or 4 yards, and I'll bet you that's what the doctor ordered on first down for Minot State, backed up to their own goalpost.
Yeah, when you have the goal line on your back, you just want to try to muscle it out there as far as you can. Give yourself some breathing room. And this Torgerson, he's not a big kid, but he sure can find the holes, and he's slippery.
I bet you he's embracing this role, Don. Wide receivers, they want the football, right? Now,
put it in their hands.
Hey,
yep.
Lane, you're going to play running back. Okay, give me the ball on a pitch. Pitch? Well, I don't know if I want to run it this time, but normally I want to run the football, just not on second and seven.
There he runs into a buzzsaw, and that's Darius Wood-Steichen. Did a nice job along with Schultz right there, getting off of their blocks on the defensive line and wrapped up first by Darius Wood-Steichen. Schultz just finishes them off at the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2.
So it'll be 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9. Receiver on the near side is Caden Sharp. He just has 5 catches this season. Solomon Sungaba Walleyes out there with him. They go the other way. They throw it to Devin Owens, and we're going to mark him. Well, they keep going backwards. Oh, they're going to mark him out of bounds at the 14. He stepped out of bounds looking for that first down marker, but ran out of real estate, so a 3 and out for the Dragon D.
Again, a great turnaround for the Dragons defensively.
2 3 and outs.
Yes.
And the first drive where they made some adjustments.
It was about 5 or 6 plays. Yep.
So here's Moreno. Southpaw kicker.
He's a boomer.
That's a 46-yard punt. Bresnahan. That's a good return. Boy, you talked about Gabe Watson last week. Just wait and now hit a hole. He waited, and then I know it's only 5 or 6 yards, but still the art of the punt return.
On punt returns, it isn't, I mean, it's rare that you see a guy go off on a regular basis for 8, 10, 12, 15. Usually it's 5 or 6. You don't get a whole lot on punt returns because that coverage team is down on you, and you're usually back there all by yourself. That time, yes, he waited and found a little gap, picked up 6 yards.
Most of the time it's a fair catch.
Yeah,
or the ball goes like it got over Torgerson. This is Meal. This is Neal spinning across midfield. Sometimes they'll break, but just a 6-yard pickup was just fun to watch because of how it was done.
And it was, and there was a lot of movement. You know, chuck and jive, moving, shoulders, shoulder and hips, and trying to break loose. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You sounded like Jared Bledsoe trying to break down a basketball play that was over my head. Simons for 1 or 2. It makes sense to you color guys.
Right.
You color commentators can come up with it. Chuck
Let's
and
have
jive
fun.
and juke and
Juke
shimmy,
and jump,
shimmy.
yeah,
And
right.
hey, if it makes sense to you and you're happy,
Little head fake, little shoulder fake.
then I'm happy.
Oh, it's fun.
It's 3rd and 2. Simons in the backfield. Zach's averaging 4.2 yards per rush this year. Meal, first down. Little pitch and catch to Richter on the far side. Mr. Reliable, who can come up with a spectacular once in a while, gets 6 yards and a first down.
And a great job by Jake Richter there, making himself available. He's able to get off the ball, doesn't get shoved at the line of scrimmage, so he's able to get out in front of Keontae Goodrow and pick up that first down.
Simons gets 3. Rapidly moving first quarter. This is going to be one of the more stressful days of the year for our great crew.
Oh, yes.
But it's a fun day for us, and it's our pleasure to bring you a doubleheader today, the football game here outside, and then when the rain starts or continues, or it may
we
never
hope
come,
it never comes, right?
we'll go inside. Alexis Kennedy will join me up in the booth, and the Dragon volleyball team will play one of the best in the country in Minnesota Duluth. Herman Gray didn't get a lot. It'll be 3rd and 9 here with a $1.50 remaining first quarter. As you look at Steve Lockway, his jacket matches the sky. Still a great day for football.
Oh,
it's
it
in
is.
the 40s. It's
Yeah.
not raining, not a
Yeah.
lot of wind blowing. This is great.
Nope. No, it's a great day for football. Every day is a great day for football.
3rd and 9. Minot State brings 6. Meal under pressure overthrows Richter, and it's 4th down. The pressure got to him as Derek Wax, the outside linebacker, came unscathed, and it's 4th down in that pseudo no man's land. I think they're going to leave it up to Oxendorf to try to pin the Beavers deep.
And drop one in, put it up high, drop one in deep, maybe inside the 10. Maybe they can do the same thing that they did last series, the Dragon defense, and get a 3 and out, change the field position again.
The Dragons don't want 67 out of Oxendorf this time. They'd like about 38 or 39 in a perfect world. Uh-oh. It's a Don Groth
Over and
5
over
iron.
5 iron, 7.
7 iron.
7
you know
iron.
what? He still gets 22 yards and it's inside the red zone. Promotional Solutions is a collection of marketers, creators, designers, finance guys, and fangirls with a passion for good products and design. They strive every day to live up to their namesake by creating awesome promotional solutions. Visit Promotional Solutions for all of your promo product, apparel, and marketing needs at promotingus.com. There's the Dragons offense. They scored on their first possession. They haven't done much since. Now Minot State. The Beavers only have 67 yards. Bolinski escaping pressure and pushed out of bounds by Michael Strand. Boy, has that guy had a great career here at MSU Moorhead.
Michael Strand, yes. He came out of high school, touted very highly on both sides of the ball, out of Barnesville, Minnesota. Son of a football coach, and his football IQ has shown through his whole career, starting out as a safety, needing to play early on as a freshman, and now finishing out his career as a senior, had to move up to linebacker. Does a great job for the Dragons.
2nd and 7. They give it to Torgerson. Torgerson with some speed, and he's going to get a first down. DeAndre Taylor takes him down, and now there's some pushing and shoving as Shad Vita got into it. What is Shad doing? So here's the tail of the tape. Shad Vita, 5'11", 175. Eric Basolda, 6'2", 290. Don't pick fights with guys that weigh 100 pounds more than you.
Right?
Right?
Oh, my goodness. You are correct. There is a disparity there.
Last play of the first quarter is a good one for Matthew Domek. He gets into the backfield and takes down Webb. End of one for Moorhead on an overcast day. 7-0, the Dragons have the lead.
Another day. And just like every day, it never seems to slow down. But you have a plan. Grab a cup, grab the paper, and grab a little time. Just for you. It's worth it. Don't get the paper? Just grab the phone. Call now and save up to 60% off the newsstand price. Journalists, bringing the story home every day.
Alexis Kennedy, is the sun shining yet?
It is not, unfortunately, but Dragons are pretty happy on their offensively. Rob Hunt telling them they just have to slow down and do what you have to do, as well as Minot is really targeting Jake Richter today, going a couple man-to-man and doubling him, so they're trying to get them on Grady Bresnahan so they can open up Jake Richter a little bit more. Guys?
That's good analysis, and here's the thing. That's Mike Aldridge taking a book out of Bill Belichick. Identify who the best receiver is and take him out of the game.
Yep, pinch him, and make him not available to the quarterback.
7-0 as we start the second quarter. Minot State in their whites looking for their first victory since last month. They try to go screen to Levante Bushnell. He's the leading pass receiver for Minot State with 38 catches and 6 touchdowns. Minot State only has 14 offensive touchdowns this year. Watson had 5 last week for Sioux Falls.
On his own.
On his own. 14 offensive touchdowns for Minot State. Bushnell has 6.
Yes. Wow. Now he looks like the athlete that you can put the ball in his hands and he's going to do something with it.
3rd and 10. Belinsky. There's Darius Woodsteichen again. He always seems to make the big play. That's his 7th sack this season.
He puts a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks from the opposing teams, and one of the leaders out there emotionally too for this defense. He is an emotional kid. He gets up, he gets moving, and has a lot of fun out there.
What is it about the art of the sack? Is it just about? You know what? Sacks is what I do. He's not the leading tackler.
No.
Here, I want to watch Jose
Right.
Luis Moreno. This is kicker pride here. And this guy's good. Now he's got the wind.
Yes.
Oh,
my
my
word.
Lord. My Lord. That's 60 yards in the air. Bresnahan. Torgerson takes him down. That was one of the prettiest punts. I know it's kicker pride.
You are correct.
Normally we don't do replays on punts, and I don't know if we're going to get this one. Here it is again.
Yes,
Let's
he's
watch
got
this.
perfect form.
Where's the ball? I know where the ball's going. It's headed towards Dilworth. Bresnahan was 61 yards. It's not that windy out.
No. He hits the
61
ball so true.
61 by Moreno, 67 by Oxendorf. It's
Yeah.
a punter's kind of a day. All right, enough about kicker's pride. There's Herman Gray picking up 6.
We were just talking about the art of the sack and something that Darius Woodsteichen does. He is so excitable and gets after it. He puts a lot of pressure on, but it is the fact that you're man-on-man with that offensive lineman, and when you beat him and you get to the quarterback, there's just like this huge adrenaline rush. I hear, anyway, I didn't play on the defensive side of the ball, but I hear it from those guys that do get those sacks, and it is an adrenaline rush every single time.
Here is George Druchis.
The run, automatic, first down.
Head contact.
Okay, George Druchis' microphone went awry. Grady Bresnahan knew it right away. Yeah, I think he got punched in the head,
Yep.
and that's not nice.
No, head
And
contact.
it's also a penalty.
It is a penalty.
So the first of all, the first down by Herman Gray, he was chugging backwards to get the first down, and then the head contact by Goudeau. This is Bryce Meal throwing. He's got Bresnahan. That's a terrific catch right in front of us, and that's 8 yards on first down.
There again, now you have Grady and Richter on the same side of the field. What are you going to do, and how are you going to take away one or both? If you're doubling up and you're putting pressure on Richter, Grady Bresnahan, he knows how to get open and come back to the ball. Nice pitch and catch there.
Neal was looking that way, and now he'll look the other way. Now he's going to run around the backfield and throw long towards Bresnahan, and he's lucky that ball wasn't intercepted. An underthrown ball that Kaiwan Owens, a senior out of Carson, California, wishes he had another opportunity.
Oh, he should have had a pick there. That was not a desirable throw by Bryce Meal. I think he thought, everything's going so well today, I might as well throw it down there and see what happens. But it wasn't a really good shot to throw.
The Dragons go Wildcat here on 3rd and 2. Simons hasn't thrown a pass this season. And on second effort, he's going to get the first down. He's still on his feet. Is there anything that's going to stop Simons? Zach Simons should have been stopped for a 2-yard loss. Instead, he makes one of the plays of the year. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don and I are trying to do math. 5. Don, take your shoes off.
Yeah.
Watch out for that. 6.
It takes Chris Rivers, the strong safety, 5'11", 180-pound senior out of Jackson, Mississippi, come all the way over on that play to take Zach Simons down. Wow.
Cry me a river.
Yeah.
After that.
There you go, Chris Rivers, right?
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, man. That was one.
That was fun to watch.
Oh, what a play. Absolutely, absolutely fun to watch a quarterback do that. Oh, wait a minute. He is now a running back. In fact, he's a power runner.
Here we go, in a power formation. The Dragons go full. Oh, no, Meal's in. Bryce will give it to Zach, and no matter how good Zach is this time, Caleb Ness out of Coon Rapids, Minnesota is just a little bit better.
Yeah, that linebacker, he read that thing from the get-go. You watch him, he slides right in. Came in untouched from his linebacker position and met Zach Simons right after he got the ball. And, yeah, he wasn't letting him go, that's for sure.
Textbook Rapids, maybe a little high, maybe high, but that's where he got him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he grabbed on. There was no letting go on that.
Empty backfield for Meal on 3rd and 10. Bryce looking to his right. Now his left. He had sweep. Meal looking. Now throwing in the end zone. Incomplete. Herman Gray fell down.
I'm not sure what was going on with that play.
It wasn't pretty.
No, it was not pretty at all. There was a lot of breakdowns and then guys trying to change directions in the end zone and be a target. Nobody was able to get open.
So here comes Joe Chesvold. Remember, there is some wind down there. There goes the ribbons on the uprights. This is a 28-yard field goal, and it's right up the gut. So just an extended extra point. A lot of movement. Chesvold has the leg, and it's good. Now hold the phone. There are flags down. I think it's going to be on Minot State. And does Steve Lockway take points off the board? I think today the answer is no. Here's George Druchis.
Encouragement, defense, number 5. That penalty's declined.
It was offsides against Minot State, and the Dragons will decline it. We'll go to break. 11:07 remaining in the first half. It's 10-0. The Dragons are up.
It's a new stay at the Courtyard by Marriott, located just minutes from downtown Fargo, local colleges, shopping centers, and several restaurants. The Courtyard features a 24-hour fitness center, 24-hour on-site Starbucks, and our bistro restaurant and lounge open for breakfast and dinner daily. Relax in one of our 2 indoor swimming pools and hot tub. The comfort your family needs, close to all the action at the Courtyard by Marriott. Visit our website or call 218-284-1000. That's 218-284-1000.
The Eggers Agency on 8th Street in Moorhead has served Fargo, Moorhead, and the surrounding area for over 20 years. So if you're looking for a good neighbor agency in our community, call David Eggers at 218-233-1334 or stop by. The Eggers Agency is located on 8th Street South in Moorhead.
Steve, that last drive for the 28-yard field goal by Joe Chesvold for the Dragons. 9 plays, 65 yards, chewed up 2 minutes and 57 seconds on the clock.
2 good drives.
Yes, very good drives.
And they get the points. So I think usually you've heard us say, like last week, field goals were not going to beat Sioux Falls. Field goals in these situations might be good enough today. Here's Lane Torgerson. He wants to do something about that. He's got speed. He's got escapability. He refuses to go down. Trent Marquardt says, not on my watch. And Minot State will start from the 25-yard line.
Nice return by the young man, Torgerson. Did a nice job of corralling that ball and following his blocks and got everything that he possibly could on that kickoff return.
So, Don, you and I were talking about Mike Aldrich last year, got a couple victories. In fact, a season-closing victory against St. Cloud State. That was the first time that Minot State, since moving to Division II, had beaten a team that finished above 500. It's one of the stepping stones, and Lockway's had his stepping stones. Maybe St. Cloud State in 2 weeks would be a stepping stone, but this team's down. They're young. They like to play. Lane Torgerson getting 4 or 5 yards, but I have confidence in Mike Aldrich and Minot State's ability to turn this thing around.
Well, and I think that his staff and the college itself have done a fine job of allowing him and giving him the tools that he needs to help build a winning program up there, and I can't see that he's not going to. He's a young guy that has a lot of energy, as an excitable guy, loves the game of football, and now he's getting a lot of players here too that love the game of football.
Speaking of loving the game of football, there's Mike Aldrich over in black. Gerald Smith, the talented defensive lineman for the Dragons end out of Boys Town, Nebraska, is down, and the good thing is he's in good hands with former Division II Trainer of the Year, Andy Scott. She is looking at Gerald Smith right now. She is the one in the middle in the red and black jacket. Let's take a break while Smith gets a 10-2, 10:46 remaining in the first half. Dragons up 10-0.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shear she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Dave Eggers at 218-233-1334 today.
10:46 remaining first half. We talked about this Minot State squad, Mike. As you see Smith, it looks like they were attending just below his head, so it looks like he's going to be okay. This Minot State squad, they played 4 games against the South, and they got outscored 196-36. That's 49-9. That means work to be done.
Yes, a lot of work to be done. Defensively, offensively, they put up some numbers.
Not many. Torgerson running the other way. Torgerson has speed. Torgerson on the near side. He didn't step out of bounds. He's still going. Can he score? He'll dive into the end zone. Touchdown, Torgerson. He goes 68 yards, and Minot State's right on the board for the first time. We saw enough of that last week, didn't we?
Yeah, well, tremendous job by Torgerson after he makes the corner. Didn't look like he had burner speed, but boy, this kid can turn it on.
He can run. There, that's visual evidence.
And staying in bounds after almost getting tripped up, he's able to keep his balance on that sideline and make his way to the pylon. Great job by the young man.
Jose Luis Moreno hits. 10:13 left first half. 3-point ball game here in Moorhead.
Dragon Swim School is proud to offer year-round swimming and diving lessons with the lowest student-to-instructor ratio around. Lessons are available for all levels, including parent-child sessions and preschool. Help your child learn to love the water in a safe and caring environment with us at Dragon Swim School. Visit msumdragons.com/swim for more information. That's msumdragons.com/swim.
All right, let's take a look around Alex Nemzik, Shields Field. There's the Gate City Bank My School Spirit Fan Camp. Thanks to Gate City Bank. Ask for a Dragon debit card and they'll make a donation right to MSU Moorhead scholarships. You saw some Minot State fans who have made the trip. There are some Dragon fans. It is not sold out today. I wouldn't expect it to be. It's chilly. There's rain coming. Good football game, though.
You can watch it right here on the extra, though.
All right, 10-7. Jose Luis Moreno ready to boot this thing away. I'd like to see what this place would look like if the Dragons were 8-1, or what this place will look like regardless of the record in 2 weeks against St. Cloud State. There will be hype going into that game as Moreno kicks it out of the end zone. You and I talked about it earlier this week.
Oh, yeah, that a game like that, end of the season, all of the things that are going on. Dragons pick up a win here today. Play Bemidji next week. Pick up a win there. You never know.
Cart before the horse.
Let's win today, right? Dragons need to win today.
All right, Dragons at Bemidji State next week, home in 2 weeks against St. Cloud. So 3 large games left, right? Battle for the Battle Axe next week. Second longest traveling trophy. Here's a flag and a delay a game against the Dragons. And then the Dragons haven't beaten St. Cloud State since 1983, when a young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Don Groth was patrolling the sidelines for the Dragons.
I had a jersey on and a helmet, yes.
Those were the days. 1st and 15. Here's a little pitch to sweep. Zach with the hurdle. We know he's got speed. We know he's a track athlete.
And he's a hurdler.
That was proof. Watch this. So you want to play defense. I'm going to go low. I'm going high. You see that in the NFL every week. You rarely see it at this level. That was terrific.
Athleticism at its best right there.
It's still 2nd and 11. This is Bresnahan wide open. He'll get pushed out of bounds by Kaiwan Owens, just short of a first down. The Dragons will need 2 on 3rd down.
Yeah, he reached out, but he didn't realize, reached out and thought he was going to put the ball out over the line to gain, but his foot was out of bounds, about 1.5 yards out.
This is Simons in the Wildcat. Boy, if you got a guy that wants to do that, I'm not going to be the one to volunteer for that job, but I think Simons loves it. Give me the ball. I'm going to lower my head, and then all kinds of havoc and traffic accidents are going to happen.
I'm going to follow these big boys up front, the Hoggies up front on the offensive line, and bury my head right between their shoulders and hips and follow them into the end zone a couple carries ago.
Gray stopped by Ellis Parr, a junior defensive tackle out of Portland, Oregon. No gain. 8:58 remaining, first half. Good ball game. The Dragons scored the first 10. A Zach Simons 1-yard plunge. A Joe Chesvold 28-yard field goal got the Dragons out to a 10-0 lead. Minot State scored on their last possession. There's Richter. He'll get thrown to the ground by Owens, but not until he picks up 17 yards and a first down.
His favorite target on the year. No doubt about that. Jake Richter makes things easy for his quarterbacks when he's able to get open, and this time he's able to get open. They found a combination now with Grady Bresnahan and Richter teaming up on one side of the ball.
They go back to that sweep play, or that end around to Zach Sweep. He avoids Beavers, and instead of a 5-yard loss, turns it into a 5-yard gain.
That was electrifying footwork. He was almost tackled 3 times behind the line of scrimmage.
Bresnahan and Richter have combined for 102 catches this year. Boy, that 103rd, that would have been the 103rd, and that would have been one of the more spectacular ones. But Bresnahan couldn't haul it in. Keontae Goudeau, wasn't he banged up earlier? He's back for Minot State.
Combination of Richter and Grady Bresnahan for the Dragons on the same side, the line of scrimmage, lining up, is helping to take the pressure off of Richter because they're not able to double team him.
Option, Meal. Now pitches it to Simons. The ball's loose. Did Simons go out of bounds first? He did. I'm pretty sure that the headline judge, James Johnson, not only knew the ball came out, but he saw where the foot was first. So there's the pitch, and there is the foot out of bounds, and then the ball came out. That's the correct call by Johnson, and the first down. This is Herman Gray with some room. Herman stumbles, but picks up 9.
Quick feet, and Herman Gray, we've seen it. When he's healthy, he is electrifying. He gets those feet moving, and he's able to find and pick holes. He's not a big guy, but he sure knows how to run that football.
He'll get another try here. Squirts through a hole, and did he get the first down? No. Boy, it looks like the Dragons have to get to the 22, and they got to the 22 and a half. So does Simons come in? Yes. Exit Bryce Meal. In comes Zach Simons. He has the lone touchdown for the Dragons today. They're going to ask him to get a yard. Minot State knows what's coming, and they can't stop it.
Everybody in the stadium knew what was coming. Take that direct snap from the line or from the center and bury his head between the guard and the center again.
There is Mike Aldrich. I mistakenly had him dressed in black. Maybe it's a pre-Halloween cursor. That is Aldrich, the former Augustana University coach, dressed in red. Thank you very much to Alex Nelson. Good to have him back. John Webking, who was in the controls last week, doing what he does with our Dragons Live staff, eating some pizza. That's what Webby does. Alex does the directing. Webby eats pizza.
My goodness.
It's a well-oiled machine here at Dragons Live. Good to have Alex back.
I'm thinking that John Webking does a little bit more than just eat pizza.
First and goal for the Dragons from the 7. Meal, jump ball into the end zone. Richter, a one-hander. Did he come down with it? No. He did come down with it, but it was out of bounds.
Great catch, yes. Excellent catch. And I'm not sure that he got his feet down in.
He only needs one. Oh, he got it. He got his foot down. Absolutely, he got his foot down. But side judge Kevin Britt said no. The question is, would that have made SportsCenter 2? How many times is the guy going to get on ESPN? 2nd and 7. They're going to do the same thing? Yes. Oh, he makes another spectacular catch. Touchdown. Was that poetic justice?
Spider-Man catch. That ball stuck to his fingers. Get up high and go get it, Jake Richter. And come down with it.
And now there's a flag. They're going to take this one away too. You know what? If they do, you know where I'd go next time?
Right back to him.
Of course. Here's George Druchis.
After the play, unsportsmanlike penalty, number 74 on the offense. That penalty will be put in play on the kickoff.
The center, Tyler Lazars, gets flagged for the unsportsmanlike. Was he the one
spiked the football?
Spiked it. They just, yeah. Jake Richter did. They called the penalty on Lazars. You know who just was spotting for us? He's John Webking. So, yes, he does do a lot more than just hang up in the booth. So the touchdown will count, and then the penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. This is Chesvold for the extra point. On its way, it hits the upright, and it goes through. There's some more of that kicker love. 5:49 remaining in the first half. It's a fun one here in Moorhead with the Dragons up by 10.
Herbert and Gerberts wants to know, what's your favorite sandwich?
My personal favorite is the Flash. It's got all that meat and that Italian flavor that I can't get enough of.
You know, the first time I was at Herbert and Gerberts, I couldn't decide if I wanted ham or turkey, so I got the Gerf. Got both.
I like the Pompeii because I like chicken salad, but it also has that sweet chili sauce.
Experience Flavor Nation for yourself with the classic, specialty, and signature menus at Herbert and Gerberts with 4 convenient FM locations, 1 in Bismarck and 1 in Grand Forks. Or order online and have it delivered at herbertandgerberts.com.
There is Jake Richter, number 10, right in the middle. And that guy just has a flair for the spectacular. Up he goes, and he gets rewarded for what they took away from him. It was Jake Richter that did the spike, and maybe I think he knew he got a foot down on the previous play.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
So Chesvold's going to have to kick this from the 20-yard line. Tyler Lazars is thinking, wait a second, I'm not the one that's going to have to run and do hills on the weekend. So a short kick, and now this leads to trouble. This is Keontae Goudeau. DeAndre Taylor ran him down, but that's one of the problems about the spike. I mean, I don't think kicking against the wind, Chesvold would have got it into the end zone, but this just, well, we get to see Keontae Goudeau
take it at the 25 and does a remarkable job of finding a lot of green space on the near sideline.
So he goes 48 yards on the return, and now Minot State's right back in business. 17-7, 5:40 remaining here in the first half. Alex Nelson at the controls, Alexis Kennedy down on the field, Don Groth, Steve DeStatio here in Moorhead. Webb, not much. Vita, the tackle.
Strand in there to make the first initial hit. Nice job by the defense of the Dragons. Again, containing things, not letting him find the edge, able to snap down, and Michael Strand from his linebacker position gets the first touch on the running back to make the tackle.
You know how many times I heard that in the baseball game last night that lasted until 2:30 in the morning Central Time?
Amazing, right?
Little things can create big things, although a home run won it. Bolinski pumping, now throwing, going long. He's got Bushnell. And he'll come down with it. And now the fans are going to say, hey, wait a second. He had dual possession with Goffard, but they're going to give him the catch at the 2-yard line. You know what? He got a foot down. That's the correct call. I think some Dragon fans will argue that there was dual possession just for a moment, but I believe dual possession goes to the offense, doesn't it?
And who ended up with it at the end? I mean,
Minot.
Yeah, the Dragon defender didn't have his hands on the ball at the end. Continuation of the catch, make sure that it wasn't bobbled.
Bolinski, he's going to run it. Bolinski takes a right-hand turn into the end zone. Touchdown, Ben Bolinski. That's his 4th rushing touchdown this season. And the Dragons score. Minot State right back again.
Keeping pace. They are keeping pace right now. Bolinski didn't get touched on that play as the blocking scheme for that read option was done very well by the Beavers.
Low snap. Boy, this Moreno has a leg. And it's accurate. 4:23 remaining in the first half. Right back to a 3-point game.
With everything that happens in a day, it's nice to have options. That's why we're making it easier for you to get news that fits your schedule.
WDAY WDAZ News. First on at 4.
Working hard to bring you more breaking news throughout the region and weather that will impact your area, all at a time that works for you. The first in the region, your trusted team, keeping you informed when you need to know most.
WDAY WDAZ News. First on at 4.
17-14 is the score here on the football field. And that's our little promo. The Dragons and Minnesota Duluth, the Bulldogs, are the 5th-ranked team in the region, so they have bigger things shooting for. The Dragons would love to upset the Doggies, and you can see it right here on WDAY Extra. Alexis Kennedy will call the game with yours truly. So
excellent.
It's a little longer day, and you know what? Our Dragons Live crew, it's not just a doubleheader here on TV. There's also swimming going on.
Yep.
So it's a 3-headed monster. It's the fun kind of stress, right?
Nemzik is a buzz, that is for sure. Up and down the hallways, people everywhere today.
Moreno blasted through the end zone.
He's got like perfect form and everything. His punting, extra points, his kickoffs. He drives the ball. I mean, we don't see a lot of kickers that have that kind of talent.
You know what? It's an offside on Minot, so the Dragons will start at the 30. The most fun that I like to see at the end of these days, it's the Dragons Live crew hoping, hey, you know what? We just did something that not a lot of college students get to do, and that is help produce 2 games on television and know that there's also work to be done over in the natatorium. Is that what they call the swimming facility?
Yep.
So it's just it's like at the end of a basketball night, a flawless, seamless doubleheader, where it's just, hey, you know what? Great job, everybody. This is pretty cool stuff, and that's why we're here. 1st and 10 for the Dragons. Low snap, grabbed by Meal, given to Herman Gray. He gets popped, and then on second effort gets another yard for good measure as he got licked, I believe, by Ellis Parr.
And Derek Wax.
And he got waxed by Waxed.
Yes. That was one heck of a pop.
That was Steve's weak attempt of using the English language. Herman again. He'll get tackled forward, and it'll be 3rd and 1. 3 minutes, 50 seconds remaining here in the first half. Good ball game. Some fans, and I heard some of them, well, it's Minot. This is, 6 wins. No. Minot State's come here to play today. Good stuff by the Beavers and the Dragons. Good football game. 3rd and 1. Simons and the Cat. Zach. Guys to get to the 40, and he got it. First down, Dragons.
Most definitely. Everybody knows when he lines up in short yardage, Steve, everybody in this stadium, including the opposing team, the Beavers, know that he is going to slam it up there right behind the offensive guard and the center, Lazars, and try to push his way for 2 or 3 yards to get that first down. And they've been fairly proficient at it today.
Herman Gray on first down gets 4. Is this one of the ploys designed by Lockway? Clock ticking under 3 minutes. Neal, throw. Sweep, first down. There's that long handoff, if you will, although that was upfield. 10 yards, first down, stop the clock, move the change, start the clock again.
Right, Zach Sweep, another big body out there at wide receiver. Over 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. He's able to just box out his defender, make that grab.
There's Herman Gray. 1, 2 tackles, first down, out of bounds. That's Herman Gray being Herman Gray.
Great footwork. We watch him avoid 2 tackles right at the line of scrimmage. And then zip his way out to the sideline, get out of bounds, stop the clock, pick up the first down.
Now it starts again. We're outside 2 minutes. I think the Dragons are just going to do what they do. This is the way they think they can score. It happens to run some clock. Herman Gray happens to lose 2 yards. The Dragons have all 3 timeouts should they choose to use them.
Well, their goal definitely is to use this clock up here at the end and get points on the board.
2nd and 12. Play action. Meal. Incomplete. He was looking for Grady Bresnahan. We look downstairs to Alexis Kennedy.
Hi guys, don't know if you can tell, starting to rain a little bit here. Also offensively, Kevin Murphy, the tight end is saying that Zach Simons is unstoppable. So to go to him, as well as the defense is getting a little weary, but you have senior Aaron Doan telling his guys, pick up your head. You can't feel sorry for yourself, and it's just going to get harder towards the end of the game.
Senior leadership, Aaron Doan knows the grind as the Dragons jump. So it is starting to rain outside, and does that mean shelter for Alexis? No, we are going to keep her outside.
She can put her hood up.
She can put her hood on.
Yeah, she has a visor with that hat.
She's listening to Aaron Doan, and that's some Dragon toughness. She talked about she's a softball player for the Dragons, second baseman. So she has played in inclement weather before and is not fazed by it. It's 3rd and 17 for the Dragons at the Minot State 40-yard line. Empty backfield for Meal. Bryce looking, firing, incomplete. Bobbling the ball out of bounds was Ryan Harvey Turner, and the Dragons are going to have to kick this thing away. So this will bring up a punting situation. I don't think this was the worst thing in the world. There were no turnovers, and some time came off the clock. 1:48 still an eternity, but now Oxendorf maybe can back Minot State up.
And the coverage team needs to get down there. They don't want to let the deep man have any room. Torgerson don't need to give him any room to run.
There's a wobbler to the 15. It was 25 yards. Perfect. If you're Steve Lockway, that's fine. That's just fine.
Punt it down there. Make sure that it's inside the 20. Let them take that fair catch. And now defense needs to stiffen up and not give anything big. I mean, the big play is what's killing them right now, and how they've given up the 14 points. Dragons defense here in the first half, only by the big play. It hasn't been a sustained drive at all.
Minot State scored on their last possession. They scored on 2 of their last, 3? Bolinski does a little pirouette, and then they're going to run the ball. Now what does Steve Lockway do? Does he manage the clock from a defensive perspective, or do you wait until 3rd down? This is why he gets paid as a head coach. You got to make these decisions, and you got to make them right now.
Right? Tackle for a loss or little gain here on 2nd down, then you take a timeout. Try to save some clock. Possibly get that ball back with 40 seconds left.
First things first.
Got to stop him here.
2nd and 11. Still 5 on the play clock. Now Bolinski back to pass. Domek chasing him. Domek got him, and now there's the flag. This is going to stop the clock with 54 seconds remaining, and this is going to be an intentional grounding. Now the question is, Don, was Bolinski in the end zone?
No, he was shy of that.
Okay, if he was, it's a safety.
Oh, yes. No, he was shy of that. I believe he was out about the 3.
Here's George Druchis. George? No.
Almost.
Okay. I think he's asking.
He's got him at the 2.
Okay, they're pointing where it was. I didn't think he was in the end zone. George, talk to us.
Intentional grounding. Nope. Line of scrimmage by rule is the loss of down from the spot of the foul.
Okay. Well done.
Ball
he was
gets
inside
placed.
the pocket, or outside the pocket, but he didn't get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. That's great pursuit by Matthew Domek. So it's a loss of down. It stops the clock, and the penalty drives the ball all the way back to the 3-yard line. So now if the Dragons were to get a stop, I would imagine Steve Lockway would exercise a timeout. This saved him a timeout as well. 3rd and 23. High snap. Gobbled up by Bolinski. Torgerson gets a couple. Steve Lockway will take a timeout. We'll step away with 49 seconds left in the first half.
Prosperity is today's investment in tomorrow's promise. The promise of a better way of life. With every act of kindness, every act of creation, and with every act of love, we strengthen our community. And when we stand together as a community, we accomplish the impossible. We can choose to pass through life, or we can choose to pass on a better way of life.
All right, Alexis Kennedy said it is starting to rain. That is fact. I just stuck my old paw out the window, and it's starting to rain, but I'm going to go all John Wheeler. It's a sprinkle. It's not a quagmire. Now, there's rain coming, but
I think it's just a sprinkle.
Just a sprinkle.
No effect.
Oh, no.
No
I
effect
just
on the
read
ball.
Alexis's lips downstairs. She's 100 yards away, and she said, it's not sprinkling. I'm downstairs. You come on downstairs. It's raining. Here's the kick. Moreno. 5 yards deep in the end zone. We'll trust her. She's downstairs in it. Moreno's last kick was 61 yards. Here's an end-over-ender. Bresnahan from the 50, a 43-yard kick.
That's it.
Grady, loose, breaks 2 tackles and gives the Dragons terrific field position from the 30-yard line. A 43-yard kick, a 20-yard return, and the Dragons have it at the 30-yard line with 2 timeouts remaining. I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to squirt through a couple of holes and then finally get taken down by Garrison. First and 10 for the Dragons at the 30.
And no dancing around by Grady Bresnahan. He went right up the field, north and south, actually traveling south in that, but just jammed it right up there and picked up a nice return.
Meal. Bresnahan wide open. Grady with the Jets. Had to run a little east before he could go south. Picks up 20 yards. We're going all geographic here inside of a half a minute. We went meteorologic. Now we're going geographic. Do they go back to Richter? There's a flag. Uh-oh. Is this going to be a runoff?
No.
23 seconds. Moorhead, false start, number 7.
This is where a copy of the NCAA rulebook would be handy. Here comes George again. Are you sure?
And how much would they run off?
10. 10. Here's George.
Not be good.
We're going to keep it right here and explain. I'm going to give myself some props.
Yep.
Because the clock was in a running situation and the Dragons committed a moving foul. Okay? Motion, 2 men in motion, or an illegal procedure, or false start, if you will. It would have been a 10-second runoff. So the Dragons had the choice of either exercising a timeout, which they did, or they would get penalized with the, I don't know if penalized is the correct word.
Of course it is.
But by rule, it would be a 10-second runoff. So they lose the 5 yards. And I think Lockway would have taken a timeout anyway.
Right.
But Druchis was just saying by rule, it would have been a 10-second runoff if a timeout is not taken.
And with 23 seconds left here in the second quarter, most definitely you have to take the timeout and salvage those seconds. That's 2 plays.
Okay. So we got that right.
Yeah, no.
See, we take care of the rule book.
Good
Alexis takes care of the weather. It's 1st and goal from the 15. Meal in trouble. Meal's going to run for it. 10-5 touchdown. Bryce Meal wheeling into the end zone.
Excellent job by Bryce Meal to escape the pressure in the pocket again. Flushed out. He saw Green in front of him. Nobody there to stop him. He takes it right in for the touchdown. Nice job by the Dragon offensive line to shift that pocket over to the left, let Bryce have the right, and now they're kicking the extra point.
Chesvold stays perfect today. Now we'll step away with 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Dragons back up by 10.
Libby here with another lesson.
Okay, gotta make a list. Pay cable bill, research car insurance rates, get groceries. And my student loan payment is due next week.
You look stressed. If you're worried about money, try riding Matt's bus.
There is a bus stop pretty close to my job. I could give it a try.
Awesome. More conditioner?
Thanks a lot.
He learned his lesson. Join us and take the challenge to ride green.
It's not only a great job by the Dragon defense, getting the stop, Dragon offense, getting into the end zone, clock management by Steve Lockway.
Exactly. All three phases, all three parts to that puzzle. Excellent job by all three to get it done.
Four. The Bresnahan 20-yard kick return.
That's true. The kick return, special teams too. Involved special teams, yes.
Team effort.
Very much so.
We should all hug.
Excellent. Go ahead.
Chesvold, a wobbler. It's going to bounce. It's a free football. It looks like Latrell McCutcheon out of Bozeman, Montana, maybe avoided some disaster. There's just 14 seconds remaining, but I don't want to put the Dragon offense back on the field.
That ball bounced through the hands of Lofton Klabunde as he came up to try to field that thing, but obviously on Minot baseball team, he wasn't a shortstop, or maybe he was. He wasn't able to corral that ball. Good thing his partner back there, Latrell McCutcheon, was able to land on it.
Got off to a slow start in this game. Dragons had the only score of the first quarter, led it 7-0. Good stuff since. 24-14, the Dragons lead it. We now invite you, after this commercial timeout, to take a look at an MSU Moorhead halftime news break, and then Don and I will come back, and we'll have some fun stuff to talk about. 24-14, you're watching live coverage of MSU Moorhead Dragons football on WDAY's Extra.
The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. There's a place where teaching and learning are transforming lives, where relationships drive deeper, more meaningful exploration and discovery based on mutual respect and trust, where you'll discover who you are and what you can achieve when you head out into the world to make it better. Life is more than a journey. It is a chance to transform.
Update or download to the all-new MSUM Dragons app on iTunes and Google Play. The new
Hello,
app
everyone,
features
and welcome
customized
to the
following of
MSUM
only your
halftime
favorite
newsbreak. I'm your
Dragons
host,
teams,
John Webby Webcam.
incredible in-app
up,
live stats
catching
and
up
media
on our
coverage,
Dragons
and
soccer
our
team
fired-up
head
rewards
coach,
program
Christy
all in
Copens.
one easy-to-use app. Update your Dragons app, search MSUM in your app store, or visit MSUMDragons.com/app to download the new MSUM Dragons app today. Today's Dragons Live coverage is brought to you by BSN, The Courtyard by Marriott, Herbert & Gerbert's, Richards Transportation, Shields of Moorhead, Shucks Bus Service, Buffalo Wild Wings, Forum Communications.
Hello everyone, I'm Tanner Robinson and welcome to today's halftime news break. On today's break, we caught up with three-time All-American Josh Young on his hopes of becoming a four-time All-American. But first, I sat down with head cross-country coach Ryan Milner to talk about the team as a whole.
All right, Coach Milner, so as the season kind of approaches the end here, what has been your thoughts of the season so far?
Yeah, it's kind of been a different season for us, a little more up and down than we usually like. Got hit with illness early on, kind of battling through a few injury things, but our emphasis has always been at our best at the end of the season at championship time, and we're kind of starting to see those pieces fall into place where people are getting healthy, training's going well. I'm pretty optimistic about where we're going to end up come November.
You said the training process was kind of picking up. So what has that process been like to kind of help peak the team for big upcoming meets?
Yeah, usually at this time we've done quite a bit more race-specific work. We've held off on approaching that because this year is a festival year, which stretches our season 2 weeks longer than a traditional season. So we've kind of built our plans around that. So we're just now really starting to get into the race-specific type of training that's going to have us ready to compete at a high level come conference and regionals.
And speaking of conference and regionals, what are your specific goals for the teams for specifically the men's team heading into conference and regionals?
At the conference meet, we're looking to contend to be one of the top teams. That's our goal every single year is what do we do to make sure we're in the mix at at the end of the race when it's those critical phases. Regionals is the same thing. Obviously, looking for a berth to the national championships. So that's going to take a, probably top 3 finish there, and that's we've had on our mind pretty much since June.
And then I also want to talk about how Josh Young has kind of been in effect as well, because he's a track athlete. So how has he translated those skills to cross country?
Yeah, I think he gets overlooked as a cross country runner pretty often. He's been first team all conference since his freshman year competing. So we're still anticipating he runs at that level this year. He was an All-American last year in cross country. So we're hoping he kind of rounds into shape the same way he did last year, which happened right about conference time. And all indicators are pointing to that's going to happen again. Josh is one of those rare athletes when there's championship in the title of the race. I can relax and step back because I know he's going to take care of business, and I don't really have to stress or worry too much.
And now on the flip side with the women's team, a lot of youth this year on the team. So in your eyes, how has the women's team progressed with that much youth?
You can definitely see some bright spots of what's going to happen in the future. Callie Anderson, Andrea Wells are showing here and there that they're going to be, great foundational pieces for our program going forward. And that's kind of been our theme for the season is laying the groundwork for where we want to go as a program. And I think they've done a good job at embracing that and doing that.
What goals do you have for them heading into the regional conference meets?
Yeah, you're looking for our top crew runners to go and compete at a really high level. So Marissa Carlson and Catherine Sistrunk. The rest of the group, it's largely can we get some experience under their belt so they know what to expect going forward in the future. Our goal is to be one of the top teams in the region moving forward, and I think them being there and seeing what level they have to compete at to do that is going to be beneficial.
Thanks, Coach Milner, and best of luck at the NSIC Championships. Coming up after the break, we talked with Josh Young about becoming a 4-time All-American.
The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. There's a place where teaching and learning are transforming lives, where relationships drive deeper, more meaningful exploration and discovery based on mutual respect and trust, where you'll discover who you are and what you can achieve when you head out into the world to make it better. Life is more than a journey. It is a chance to transform.
Update or download to the all-new MSUM Dragons app on iTunes and Google Play. The new app features customized following of only your favorite Dragons teams, incredible in-app live stats and media coverage, and our fired-up rewards program all in one easy-to-use app. Update your Dragons app, search MSUM in your app store, or visit msumdragons.com/app to download the new MSUM Dragons app today.
Dragon Swim School is proud to offer year-round swimming and diving lessons with the lowest student-to-instructor ratio around. Lessons are available for all levels, including parent-child sessions and preschool. Help your child learn to love the water in a safe and caring environment with us at Dragon Swim School. Visit msumdragons.com/swim for more information. That's msumdragons.com/swim.
Get fired up for the new Shop MSUMDragons.com, the official online store of Dragon Athletics, featuring top brands like Under Armour, Adidas, Columbia, and more. Get gear in women's, youth, toddler, and infant sizes, perfect for all of our Dragon fans. Support your favorite Dragon team with Select a Logo. Anything custom ships in 72 hours. And take your tailgating to the next level with items like bleacher chairs, tailgate tents, and lawn chairs. Get the gear and support your team with profits going directly to Dragon Athletics from Shop MSUMDragons.com.
Welcome back to your MSUM halftime news break. Staying with cross country, we met up with standout Josh Young to talk about his quest for a 4th All-American title this fall.
Why did you decide to become a Dragon?
I guess I became a Dragon. I finally decided spring of senior year. The team was on the rise. The cross-country team was starting to become pretty good. It looked like they had potential. It had a good business school, and that's what my major was going to be. And then the cost of tuition was another big factor in deciding and ending up here at MSUM.
So how have you improved as a distance runner from freshman year to now as a senior?
I've made a lot of different choices now than compared to when I was in high school. I guess I'm running a lot more now, running about 70 miles a week, whereas in high school it was in the 30s a week. And then my diet especially has changed. I eat a lot more fruits and vegetables, a lot healthier of a diet now in college compared to when I was in high school. I would eat a bunch of junk food, and it doesn't help fuel you quite as well as a good, wholesome meal.
What is your best memory as a Dragon?
Best memory? I would say when we made it to nationals my redshirt freshman year of cross country. That was probably my best memory. It was the first time I'd ever qualified for a national meet, and we qualified with the team, which was super exciting. It was our second year in a row going, and we qualified by 1 point. So we beat the fifth place team by 1 point, and they only took 4. And so that was pretty spectacular to win in such a close margin to make it to nationals.
What are your goals for the last season of cross country?
Ultimately, I want to get healthy, I want to run fast, and I want to see our team make it back to nationals again. Hopefully we can go top 3 in the region, and which is coming up in just over 4 weeks. And ideally we'd go top 4 of the region, or top 3, excuse me, and then qualify for nationals as a team is the #1 goal for this season.
Thank you for joining us during our MSUM halftime news break. Stay tuned for more Dragons Live right after the break.
Today's Dragons Live coverage is brought to you by Matt Buss, Midco, Moorhead Public Service, Papa John's, Pepsi, Sanford Health, State Farm agent David Eggers, and Minnesota State University Moorhead.
Dragon Swim School is proud to offer year-round swimming and diving lessons with the lowest student-to-instructor ratio around. Lessons are available for all levels, including parent-child sessions and preschool. Help your child learn to love the water in a safe and caring environment with us at Dragon Swim School. Visit msumdragons.com/swim for more information. That's msumdragons.com/swim.
Update or download to the all-new MSUM Dragons app on iTunes and Google Play. The new app features customized following of only your favorite Dragons teams, incredible in-app live stats and media coverage, and our fired-up rewards program all in one easy-to-use app. Update your Dragons app, search MSUM in your app store, or visit msumdragons.com/app to download the new MSUM Dragons app today.
The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. There's a place where teaching and learning are transforming lives, where relationships drive deeper, more meaningful exploration and discovery based on mutual respect and trust, where you'll discover who you are and what you can achieve when you head out into the world to make it better. Life is more than a journey. It is a chance to transform.
Get fired up for the new Shop MSUMDragons.com, the official online store of Dragon Athletics, featuring top brands like Under Armour, Adidas, Columbia, and more. Get gear in women's, youth, toddler, and infant sizes, perfect for all of our Dragon fans. Support your favorite Dragon team with Select a Logo. Anything custom ships in 72 hours. And take your tailgating to the next level with items like bleacher chairs, tailgate tents, and lawn chairs. Get the gear and support your team with profits going directly to Dragon Athletics from Shop MSUMDragons.com.
24-14 here in Moorhead. The Dragons had the lead. Let's take a look at some first half highlights, shall we? Dragons get the ball. This is Zach Simons. This is what Zach Simons does best, a little wildcat. He scores his 10th touchdown this season, 7-0. After 1, Devin Homer with the big block. Watch this. Zach Simons, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take off your shoes, 5. Come on, Zach. Can I get in the end zone? He can't. He finally gets taken down after that spectacular run, and that set up a Joe Chesvold field goal, 10-0. Then Lane Torgerson. This is a wide receiver saying, you know what, Coach, I'll play anywhere you want, including running back. He goes 68 yards, and all of a sudden, it's 10-7. Then the Dragons would have an answer. How about a 14-play, 75-yard drive, and that spectacular pull down from Jake Richter made it 17-7, but back comes Minot State. This is Ben Bolinski doing his best Zach Simons impression. It's 17-14. Then the Dragons got the ball back. Bryce Meal on his wheels. Meals on wheels. Touchdown Dragons with 15 seconds remaining in the first half, and that's where we stand, 24-14, Don, as we take a look at some first half highlights. And those numbers are a little more appealing than they were last week.
No doubt about that, with 171 yards rushing, led by Zach Simons, 14 carries, 74 yards, and that touchdown that you just showed. And Bryce Meal, 8 of 17 for 107 yards passing, one touchdown pass at a long of 35. The big number there, actually no number, is turnovers, the 0. The 0 on that screen right there. 278 yards for the Dragons. Total offense, 17 minutes, 33 seconds of possession time. But that no turnovers, that means there's not a whole lot of mistakes being made by the Dragons. That's why they lead this game.
Another great example of 0 and Don Groth being synonymous. We'll take a break. 24-14, the Dragons lead it. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and what's upcoming later today, right after this. This is Dragons Football, presented by Dragons Live.
This is Dragons Live.
Libby here with another lesson.
Okay, gotta make a list. Pay cable bill, research car insurance rates, get groceries. And my student loan payment is due next week.
You look stressed. If you're worried about money, try riding Matt's bus.
There is a bus stop pretty close to my job. I could give it a try.
Awesome. More conditioner?
Thanks a lot.
He learned his lesson. Join us and take the challenge to ride green.
Heading to Fargo Moorhead to get away and have a little fun? Book your room at the highly rated Microtel Inn & Suites. It's conveniently located just off 8th Street and I-94. Clean rooms and all the amenities you need to relax and recharge after a fun day out. Plus, when you wake up, you can enjoy a free hot breakfast. What are you waiting for? Book your room today at the Microtel Inn & Suites in Moorhead. Call 218-284-4022 or visit microtelmoorhead.com.
From the time you were little, bouncing off the walls, you were told, go do something. And so you did. Then one day you found yourself in a cap and gown. Now, go do something was an invitation. Or was it a challenge? Go with Midco. We connect you with powerful, innovative technology. That's the start. Your drive and vision do the rest. Go do something. Yeah, that's definitely a challenge. You and Midco. Let's go.
All right, we're back to South versus South and North versus North. Everybody playing today. It's supposed to be under the sun. It's under the clouds. Augustana had a huge lead. It's now 38-24 as they're coming to the end of the third quarter in the Twin Cities. Minnesota State Mankato, the number 1 team in the nation, yet they're the number 2 team in the region. I don't know how that works. They're winning 21-0 down in Wayne. Winona State at halftime. Tom Sawyer's squad leads Southwest 16-0. And Sioux Falls doing to Upper Iowa what they did to the Dragons last week. They lead the Peacocks 31-0 at the half. Up here in the north, St. Cloud State was ranked 9th in the region coming into this week. They take the top 7. Bemidji State leads at 23-3. This would probably do in St. Cloud's aspirations of an NCAA berth if they were to get upended today. Mary at home leads Northern 13-3. And Minnesota Duluth, that's a halftime score.
Oh, my word.
Duluth, the number 1 team in the region, leads Minnesota Crookston 56-0. Busy day in the NSIC. It's a busy day here for us at WDAY and Dragons Live. This is a live look inside Nemzik Fieldhouse, where right after this game is over, Alexis Kennedy will dry off and join me up in the booth for live coverage of the Dragon volleyball match versus the number 5 team in the region, Minnesota Duluth. This is a Duluth Bulldog squad that upended the number 3 team in the region, Northern State, just last night in 5 sets down in Aberdeen. And a reminder, as the football season winds down, we've got 2 games remaining after today. Next week, I'll go to Bemidji by the lake. It'll be an audio-only webcast. I'll join you at a couple minutes to 1. A scheduled 1 o'clock kickoff. The Dragons will play for the Battle for the Axe next Saturday. Great tradition between the Dragons and Bemidji State. Audio-only webcast, MSUMDragons.com, beginning at 1 o'clock. And then, Don, you'll join me and Alexis 2 weeks from today as we close up shop against St. Cloud State. And I know here on WDAY Extra, and this look at the upcoming schedules presented by the Shuck Bus Service, and I know that game is going to mean something pretty special to you. He's Don Groth. He was on the field the last time the Dragons beat St. Cloud State. If I'm correct, that was the first ever Metrodome Classic.
Yes, the NIC Classic that Coach Forchi and the other coaches in the conference put together, but he was the leader on it. Had all of the teams from the conference down in Minneapolis playing at the Metrodome. So
and it was a
lot of fun.
It was a great idea back then as well. It was just not only to get another game in, but it was to get another game in good weather. And it was towards the end of the season because, hey, wait a second, we're playing a game in mid-November and then 3 weeks or early November back then, and then you'd have to wait 3 or 4 weeks to play a playoff game.
Yeah, usually the playoff games for the Dragons, we never played until the first week of December ever, so.
Yeah, so the Metrodome Classic, a great thing. But now some people will look at that game back in 1983. It was 22-21, if I remember correctly.
22-21.
And the Dragons have lost 11 straight, so 10 straight since St. Cloud State rejoined the NSIC.
Right.
So it hasn't been 35 or whatever that number is, but it's still a big number that the Dragons are trying to get that monkey off their back.
Well, and people forget that Mankato and St. Cloud left the NIC that year and went over to the NCC and played with UND and NDSU and South Dakota State and Augustana.
Omaha.
In Omaha. They joined that conference to make that conference just a little bit stronger. So welcome them back here to the NSIC. And now Dragons get to host St. Cloud in 2 weeks.
Moreno. Doesn't matter whether it's raining. The rain has picked up. I know we'll get another report out on the field. Alexis was just up here enjoying the warmth. It's not freezing outside. It's what, 48, 47, 48 degrees. And the wind's not blowing. It's just a little light rain shower that has moved through the FM radio or the FM area, and according to the map, the radar, it's going to be this annoyance, just a nuisance the rest of the game.
Yeah, just a little spit, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Nobody's getting soaked out there, that's for sure.
Sprinkles,
right?
As John Wheeler on the mothership. That's fine. An annoyance, but it could make the ball wet. Let's see how Bryce Meals' first pass is. Sweep! It's not that wet. How about 40 yards on the first play of the second half?
On a wheel route as Zach Sweep goes in motion across the formation, slides out down the sideline, and had that ball been thrown just another 2 or 3 yards in front of Zach Sweep, he may have been able to go the distance.
Bresnahan cuts it back. Go get 4 or 5 yards, and this third quarter, boy, Minot State in these middle quarters have been outscored 219 to 67. This is where either adjustments have been made or whatever what have you. If the Dragons want to put an exclamation point on this game, they probably want to do it right about now, and they're in the process. Bresnahan inside the 10-yard line.
And this team right now, the Dragons, are in high gear, trying to put the pedal to the metal. They're going hurry-up offense right now, every play, and they want to pound some nails in the coffin here.
Simons and Meal are in the game. We think Meal will take the snap. He does. Now he's going to throw. Far side, Bresnahan, touchdown. Boy, they made it look easy on this first drive of the second half.
No doubt. Quick hitters, finding those open receivers, a little trickery to start out with with the wheel route and then a jet sweep, and now 2 completed passes to Grady Bresnahan. And that's really just a long handoff out there on the perimeter, getting it to him that quick after the snap, and he's able to find his way into the end zone.
Chesvold's point after try is through, and we'll step away. 13:50 remaining in the third quarter. It's 31-14. The Dragons are on top.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
In Moorhead, talk to State Farm agent Dave Eggers.
See, these fans come prepared. I heard you can't even take an umbrella into the Fargo Dome anymore. Not that it's going to rain inside the Fargo Dome, but you
walk up to
you got to
it
be
might,
prepared.
right?
It's the Gate City Bank My School Spirit Fan Cam. Thanks to Gate City Bank. Ask the Dragons for a debit card, and they'll make a donation directly to MSUM scholarships. It's too bad that they could make a donation to the MSUM scholarships for bringing your umbrella to the game. I think it's smart.
Well, out here, of course.
This is Chesvold. This is still alive football, and this is grabbed by one of the up-backs. It's Cade Hernandez, the left guard, and I think they've seen enough of Torgerson. I think that's respect.
Most definitely. They don't want to put the ball in his hands.
Or Keontae Goodell.
Yeah, both of them are threats. They both read the field very well, and if you kick the ball to them, they're going to find positive yardage on the returns.
So Minot State starts from the 30-yard line. Just underway third quarter. The Dragons have led throughout. Webb, not much. Maybe 2 yards as another, oh good, this is Gerald Smith. A little extracurricular activity with Eric Basalda. Boy, Basalda's been in 2 little extracurricular activities today. But remember, Gerald Smith got banged up early in the game, and now he's back. Maybe he got a stinger.
Yep. Oh, most definitely. Left shoulder, left arm stinger. That last tackle also assisting on the play was Devontae Delbrun.
That's a former Spud. 2nd and 8. Bolinski pulls it back. Chased by Domick. Throws. Oh, no, great one-handed catch. This is Damon Short, and that was nothing short of pretty. He'll pick up 12 yards and a first down. There is talent on this squad.
Oh, no doubt. They have speed. They've got some really, really good skilled kids. That is for sure. And Short right there, only 5'8", 160 pounds, redshirt freshman from California.
So Aldrich knew there were some growing pains. There was talent last year, and they won 3 games. And now he said, you know what? If we're going to go through these growing pains, we're going to get young. We're going to get young. We're going to bring in my kids, right? Bolinski in trouble, and he's going to go down. Domick puts the finishing touches on what some of his buddies started.
Getting back to Aldrich, yeah. Building on his team, bringing in his talent. And skill-wise, they have some really, really talented kids, and it'll just be a matter of defensive line, offensive line, linebacker play that they need to shore up to help their team all the way around.
Devontae Delbrun was in there and got his hand. I don't know if he's going to get credit for half a sack. I think if he does, it'll be the first of his career. Another high snap to Bolinski. And it just throws everything off, but boy, Bolinski does a great job. That was his best ballerina act. High wire, tiptoeing on the sidelines.
Down the sidelines, yeah. The young man was a very good athlete, a multi-sport athlete up in Minot. And like I said earlier, was their starting quarterback up there. Had a stop at University of North Dakota before he went back to his hometown and to the Minot State Beavers.
He wants to play. I do too. You know what? If it means going to a little lower level, it's still good football. 3rd and 18, another high snap. Draw, Torgerson gets the original first down. Now he's looking for the one that means more. Boy, he gets 16, make it 15 yards to the 49-yard line. This Minot State squad has won one game, and it was over a winless team. They trail by 17. Don, do you go for it here? They're not.
They're not going to. That's a tough one. I mean, you want to, but is it really prudent when you have a punter like they have? The kid is just a master. That last run by Torgerson, he now has 9 attempts, 1 touchdown, 120 yards rushing today.
Moreno, he might have gotten that one partially blocked by, guess who? He's always in the offensive backfield.
Darius Woods. Steichen, number 52 for the Dragons, yeah. Unassumingly, I mean, he didn't look like he was going in hard and fast, or he was definitely under control when he got back there, so he didn't rough the punter.
No, and immediately George Druchis, the white hat, immediately said no harm, no foul.
Right.
The foul for Minot State is that they've given the ball back to the Dragons. It's 1st and 10, Dragons, 10:39 remaining, third quarter. Herman Gray, a huge hole. Filled quickly by Chris Rivers, who puts a big pop on him. Herman gains 2. It's 31-14 as the rain continues to fall here at beautiful Shields Field.
Chris Rivers, one of the small number of seniors on this Beavers team, coming up from his free safety position.
Fumble. Again, it's not raining hard, but that might have been a byproduct of some moisture on the football.
Well, when you're, every snap is the shotgun that sometimes you don't get a good handle on the ball on every time after the snap. That time it just got stuck on the running back's hip when Bryce was trying to pull it out. He was faking to the running back, and the ball just got stuck on the hip.
Alexis is downstairs. How hard is it raining down there?
It's coming down a little bit harder than the first half, but I do think it's going to start playing an effect here. It is coming down a lot thicker and a lot more steady, so I definitely think the field conditions are going to get a lot more slicker.
So no sunshine as of yet?
No, unfortunately that left.
Okay. Thank you very much. Alexis downstairs. She's just hanging out doing the Alexis thing on the track. 3rd and 13. Oh, and a great sliding catch. Zach Sweep gets 18 and a first down. So you want to be a student athlete and sideline reporter, then you have to do what Alexis does.
And you have to have duck boots.
And you go downstairs in the elements.
She's got her duck boots on. She's fine.
She's also got a good view of this football game. 1st and 10 for the Dragons as Sweep picks up 18 on the slide from the 45-yard line. Meal. Boy, did he get hit. That was Derek Wax, who's made a couple big pops. That's an incomplete pass as Bryce Meal paid the piper on first down. Watch this. That is untouched. And that ball, that is great camera work once again. That ball was not in his mitts. That ball was rolling up his wrist when he threw it.
Pushing it forward.
Yeah, he did the smart thing.
Oh, yeah,
But that ball's definitely wet.
Oh, yeah. Sliding right out of there. No big grip.
2nd and 10. Here they come again. Neal gets whacked. Ball's complete to Ryan Harvey Turner. He'll pick up 5 as the pressure came from Justin Coleman at defensive back as a flag is down.
And he kind of threw a duck out there on that one. The pressure came so hard.
Well, this is 2 in a row where Meal has had 1 or 2 Beavers coming at him untouched. As now Chris Rivers is trying to egg on the Dragon crowd. Does he know the Dragon crowd is over here and not over there? Wrong way, Chris.
I'll tell you what, Stevie, I've got just this one little idea that.
Hold your idea.
Okay.
Unsportsmanlike penalty, number 5 on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Okay, so it's after the down, it's again, we'll go to third down.
Okay, that's an unsportsmanlike against sweep. What's your idea? I can't wait.
Well, I'm looking at this and some of the adjustments that that the Beavers made at halftime, and one of them is now that that the rain is coming down a little bit more.
Yep, you saw sweep at the end. Go ahead.
They are going to blitz and blitz and blitz. They've got nothing to lose right now. They're going to blitz, and they need to try to cause some turnovers. And by golly, they've attempted twice now that two different plays that could have turned into turnovers.
Bresnahan gets thrown out of bounds, and this is what I expected from Steve Lockway. So now you're going to see a chess match out of this football game where Lockway's going to want to not turn the football over, and Mike Aldrich is going to roll some dice.
Oh, Aldrich is going to be rolling dice every time, offensively and defensively. Probably more so defensively, putting pressure on Bryce Meal and the offense of the Dragons. If they can shore up their defensive line and not let the Dragons have their way up front, rushing the ball, you might be surprised to see a couple turnovers here in the second half.
Torgerson makes the fair catch at the 20-yard line. That's a 33-yard kick by Oxendorf under pressure.
And into the wind.
With no return. So
Right.
8 minutes, 11 seconds remaining. Third quarter. Bryce Meal hit Grady Bresnahan. So Meal, boy, you mentioned his numbers at halftime. And right now he's 12 of 22, 195 yards, and
at halftime he was 8 of 17.
Right, so he's 5 of 6 here in the second half. He's 12 of 23, but 2 touchdown tosses and a touchdown run.
No interceptions.
There's a fumble. Another high snap, and there's a flag. Yep, Darius Wood-Steichen. Bolinski was clearly down, and Wood-Steichen stuck his head where he shouldn't have.
Yeah, tried to slide in there. I don't know if he thought maybe if he bounced him a little, that ball might come sliding out of there. Yeah, just a mistake made on that from a hard-charging kid that the Dragons have on that defensive line.
There's no doubt this is a penalty. Now it might be, yes.
Targeting.
Could this be an ejection?
Yes.
I saw Aaron Doan get thrown out a couple weeks ago. Here is George Druchis.
Personal foul, 52, defense, targeting foul, 52 by rule is disqualified.
And he becomes the second Dragon to get thrown out of a game this year. I'm not convinced. I wonder if Alex can. Here it is. Watch the head. There's Wood-Steichen. Okay, yep, I agree with the call. Absolutely, you can't go in head first like that.
And I don't think that he meant to hit head to head. He saw the ball kind of sitting sideways there, going after it. But yes, you've got to be careful nowadays. You can't just be willy-nilly.
5 years ago, that's a football play.
Oh, yes.
And now he's on his way to the locker room to take a shower.
Yeah, exactly.
And
he's honestly, he's a kid that doesn't play the game extraordinarily out of control. He dove in there thinking, wow, maybe I can get that loose.
But
he didn't do it on intent.
I know it's not intent.
Yeah.
Alex, can you run that? Can we run that one more time? There's a moment. There's a moment as Steve Lockway is getting an explanation. Yeah. There's a moment where I think, watch it again. And I'm not Wood-Steichen, but right there,
that he should have pulled up.
Wood-Steichen, yes, he could have pulled up, or he could have gone in with the side of his body, and then maybe
or just the hands.
Yeah. Great camera work.
Yep.
Great job, Alex and everybody here getting us that replay. I think there was a chance where it didn't have to be head-to-head.
No doubt about that.
So Darius Wood-Steichen gets thrown out of the game. It's also an automatic first down. This also nullifies what would now be a 2nd and 25.
Exactly.
It's 1st and 10. Torgerson. Loose. Torgerson looking for a block. Gets one across midfield. Now Minot's got a little bit of momentum. 30 yards and a first down. The guy's got wheels.
Yeah, and he reads the field very, very, very well.
With holes like that, I could too. Right?
Right? Deontay Wade comes up and helps make that tackle on that play along with Jerry Ray.
7.5 minutes, so midway through this third quarter. Bushnell comes in motion to the near side. Play action. Bolinski flush to the right. Wants the whole enchilada. And he's got a man. Touchdown, Minot State. Connor Beeston hauls it in, his second touchdown reception this season. Minot State's not going to go away.
56-yard touchdown pass.
You see Bolinski get out there into some free territory, and then he's able to step into that throw and just launch it down there. And his receiver, Connor Beeston, 6'3", 200-pound sophomore out of Laramie, Wyoming, goes up right about the goal line, is able to corral that ball and take it in for 6.
Back to a 10-point game midway through the third quarter.
Get fired up for the new Shop MSUMDragons.com, the official online store of Dragon Athletics, featuring top brands like Under Armour, Adidas, Columbia, and more. Get gear in women's, youth, toddler, and infant sizes, perfect for all of our Dragon fans. Support your favorite Dragon team with Select a Logo. Anything custom ships in 72 hours. And take your tailgating to the next level with items like bleacher chairs, tailgate tents, and lawn chairs. Get the gear and support your team with profits going directly to Dragon Athletics from Shop MSUMDragons.com.
The rain continues to fall here in Minot.
Nope.
31 here.
In
on the Minot fans.
Right? I was going to say, wait a minute. We didn't travel that far.
Are we in Minot or
Yeah,
Moorhead?
we're in Moorhead.
All right. 7:15 remaining, and they got the same colors of the football field, red and green. 7:15 remaining third quarter here in
Moorhead,
Okay.
Minnesota.
Okay. And the Beavers go 3 plays, 80 yards, and I think a lot of that had to do with the penalty and ejection of Wood Steichen.
Yeah, the targeting and the ejection of Wood Steichen gave them an automatic first down, and they capitalized on it.
Moreno doing what he does. So the Dragons get the ball back. How do they respond? As look at all the Minot Beavers still running towards the end zone and getting excited over a touchback. It's little things when you're 1-7.
And they're only down 10, and there's 7 minutes left in the third quarter. There is a lot of football left to be played here, Steve, and the Beavers, like we said from the beginning, they didn't drive down here on the bus and get dressed up and come out for the kickoff thinking they were going to lose. They came here to play the game of football with an opportunity to win, and they're putting on a show right now that they're competitive. They're coming at the Dragons with everything they got.
The only 2 competitive by score football games that they've been involved in this year was week 3. What's that, September 14th or September 21st against Mary? They won 41-28. Then they lost an 8-point game against Crookston. Since then, coming into today, the last 4 games, they've been outscored by an average of 40 points per game. Richter makes another spectacular catch. He went behind him and caught it with his left hand. This guy can do anything.
Back shoulder throw right here we're going to see by Bryce. Throws it to the outside, and Richter has to turn, and all he gets to do is get his left arm cupped enough to take that ball in. Great catch by Richter.
At some point, here comes Meal. He'll stretch to the 45 and pick up 5. At some point, we're going to have to declare that Jake Richter's a pretty doggone good wide receiver.
Well, I think we've declared that already.
Right.
He's gone up and made some great grabs this year. He boxes out his defensive backs. When he's not double covered, he's tough. And he's a great target for the Dragon quarterbacks.
I'm going to give our own duck boot-wearing Alexis Kennedy some props. After this play, the Dragons look confused. It's 2nd and 5 here at the 5:45 mark, third quarter. Neal has it. And he's going to go down and pick up 2. He was taken down by Matthew Ackerman out of Watford City, North Dakota. The catch that Jake Richter made on homecoming, what was that, 3 weeks ago, when Mankato beat the Dragons 42-20. If you go to MSUMDragons.com and YouTube, or you can look in the archives and you can see a story that Alexis Kennedy did with Jake Richter about being the number 7 play on SportsCenter 3 weeks ago. Meal throws. There's Richter again. Maybe she's going to have to do another special as he picks up a first down to the 40-yard line.
There again, Jake Richter making himself available on this crossing pattern. He's a big target when he's able to stretch out and be there for his quarterbacks. And Jake Richter, sure-handed, picks up another first down.
To the 38-yard line. Neal looking for Richter again. Why not? Double teamed in traffic right in front of Alexis Kennedy. Tell us about that special you did on Jake.
Yeah, guys, got to sit down and talk with him. You know, and I got to talk with Coach Lockway about him as well, and about how he is one of the most humble players to ever come through this program. And all throughout our conversation, he was very credited to his team and how they have such a widespread offense, and that's what's working for him. It's not just him, that it's his whole entire team, and showing how humble he really is.
He's a really good guy, really good guy. You know, you hear these guys and they're humble, and they really, really are. And that's one of the things, one of the changes that Steve Lockway has brought to this program, including some offense, as Herman Gray scores and the Dragons are right back out to a 16-point lead.
Nice job by the offensive line up front. They split that defensive line wide open, just gashed it. Actually, kind of looked like the Red Sea opening. There wasn't anybody near Herman Gray as he's able to take it in for the touchdown. Nice job by the Dragons on that drive. All positive yardage. Great drive for the Dragons. Good response.
Chesvold's extra point is good. That's Herman Gray's first touchdown since the opening day victory against Minnesota Crookston on August 30th. 4:11 remaining here in quarter number 3.
This is Dragons Live.
Exceeding expectations. Getting better every day. It doesn't happen by chance. Preparation pays off. So the only question to ask yourself is, am I better today than I was yesterday? Exceed yesterday. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
To me, Don, this is the way it should be. The Dragons are, we joked about Matt Buss and do this for free. Nothing's been free today for the Dragons. This has been a good showing by them so far today.
Oh, totally earning it. Offense has been doing their job. On that last drive, 7 plays, 75 yards. They used 3 minutes and 4 seconds. The last 2 pass plays, 15 yards to Jake Richter and 24 yards to Jake Richter from Bryce Meal, 39 yards, and then Herman Gray takes it in for 14. Great job on that 7-play, 75-yard touchdown drive.
We go downstairs to Alexis. Is the sun shining yet?
No, not unfortunately, and I really don't think it's shining for the Dragon D. I do want to know what you guys hear. I think the Dragon D, they're just having a struggle of identity and trying to find themselves. They're all telling each other, you got to play with some pride, but I really think they're struggling to find that.
Maybe this has to do with the hangover of last week. I mean, they gave up scores on every one of their possessions in the first half.
They've had a lot of bright spots. Now, we can look back to that last drive and the impetus that was the 15-yard penalty, the targeting and the disqualification of Darius Wood-Steichen, and that gave some life to the Beavers on that drive. Otherwise, the Dragons may have gotten a 3-and-out or should have forced them into a punting situation, would have got the ball back instead of giving up those 7 points, maybe had an opportunity to be up 38-14. Instead, it's 38-21. So Dragon defense, plenty of game left. They've got 4 minutes left here in the third quarter and a whole fourth quarter left to play to show some shininess and play some great defense.
The Dragons show pressure on 2nd and 10. Bolinski overthrows his intended receiver. One of the many tight ends that they have on this team, a redshirt freshman, Jackson Lundeen. You know what Bolinski had for the first time today? Just a little bit of time.
Yeah.
It's the first time he was in the pocket
True
and
that.
not running
Yep.
for his life. He
Yeah.
actually looked settled for a second or two.
Yeah, he actually had time to survey and look at progressions, check down on 1, 2, 3, and was able to deliver the ball, even though he delivered the ball a little bit high. Yes, he had time to look around.
3rd and 10. Del Brune up from his middle linebacker spot. Does he want another sack today? He certainly looks like it. Here he is, and he gets it.
Hard work on that play.
Why did I see that? Del Brune. He just looked like he had this look like, you know what, I'm going to get one. He played his high school football, block and a half from here.
Right? He and his brother on the team, both 6'2", 220 pounds.
Oh, get some, Devontae.
Nice job.
Malik Del Brune making some plays on special teams, and now Devontae getting some love from his teammates. Moreno in to punt it away. He's had some boomers today. I don't know if that's a boomer. It's 41 yards. Here comes Bresnahan. Grady Bresnahan. Still on his feet. Bresnahan is going to go. Is he? No.
Leading the way out there for him. Money Swafford. Monet. I just call him Money. 5'7", 165-pound senior out of San Diego, helping Grady Bresnahan down the sideline, trying to run interference. Just didn't get out there and make that last block to help Grady get into the end zone. Got tackled at the 4. What a great return by Grady Bresnahan and the Dragon special teams. Again, a great job in answering back, getting the ball back, making the Beavers punt, getting the ball back into the offense's hands.
Simons. Is he in? No. He's down at the 1. Bresnahan got 3 yards away from scoring the first Dragon touchdown on a punt return since Kendall Hendon did it in November of 2010. If the Dragons were to go on and win, the last punt returner for a touchdown was Josh Johnson back in 2006. Zach Simons into the end zone for the second time today. Touchdown, and now it's a rout.
Exactly what the Dragons wanted to do to open the second half. Come out here in the third quarter, take control of the game. They hadn't made a lot of mistakes. It's just that the defense hadn't made enough stops. Now the offense is taking control. When they get the ball in their hands, they believe they're going to score every time. The Dragons are showing it right now, 44-21, and ready to tack on another one.
Uh-oh. This is a free football, too. This is a free football, and Chesvold can't make the tackle. This is going to be a deuce for Minot State. Latrell McCutcheon will go all the way and score. So if I know my rule book correctly, this will be 44-23 as we take a break with 2:38 remaining here in the third quarter.
You always do this. You had a couple of pops in you and got cocky. Who's up for a game of wing roulette, you said? Because you thought it'd be funny to watch one of your friends get stuck with the hot one. But your friends, they got teriyaki, then spicy garlic, and then Asian zing. And now you're looking at the last one and you're thinking, my God, what have I done?
Don, you're all about the drives. How about two? Ready for this one?
Yeah.
2 plays, 4 yards.
2 plays, 4 yards, 26 seconds. Boom.
And then the Dragons only get a +4 because they score the 6, and then the extra point is returned for 2.
Right.
So I just went over to Tom Berg, Assistant Athletic Director in Media Communications and Relations, and it's a 2-point just special teams score. It's not.
Yep.
It's not a defensive touchdown or anything like
Nope.
that. It's just a deuce.
Just
it's
a
a
deuce.
wacky play. And now here comes the dangerous Keontae Goudeau. He still wants to run even though he's down.
You know, they changed that up. They put Keontae up, knowing that the last few kicks have been squibs by Joe Chesvold and the Dragons. So they moved him up, put 2 other guys back deep, moved him up to one of those up positions. He was able to corral that ball and get positive yardage on a return.
44-23. Bolinski directing traffic. He has Lee Webb in the backfield. Another high snap, and that's trouble. How many times have we seen a high, bad snap from Donovan Moore, the 6'1", 280-pound freshman? Watch this again. It just blows up everything, and it allows Jordan Magnuson and Michael Strand to get in there early.
It's all timing, and when the snap is that high, Bolinski's expecting to have it about number high.
Yep.
Right here at the chest where his head can be up. He doesn't even have to think about it. When he has to reach, now that just blows up everything.
2nd and 16. Here's a give to Levante Bushnell. He's got some speed as well, but Devontae Delbrun, he's got his chest out a little bit. He's having himself a pretty good afternoon.
He's having a great day today. Great day. Devontae has picked up some assist tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Been a part of 2 sacks for sure.
He's got 1.5 sacks today.
1.5 sacks, yeah.
The Dragons have 4 sacks. Minot State does not have a sack. It is 3rd down. Bolinski. Pocket collapses, and now he's going to get sacked again. There's the 5th sack. There's Connor Schultz getting a sack.
The sophomore out of Waconia, Minnesota. Keeps his feet, and he keeps working his way back to Bolinski, finding him, wrapping him up, getting that tackle for a loss and that sack. Nice job by the Dragon defense to force negative yardage and now force the Beavers into a punting situation.
This is fun for me, too. I get to see Jose Luis Moreno do this.
Boom, one again. Sheepers.
It's a 52-yard punt in the rain. I'm telling you, that guy's fun to watch. That's some more of that kicker love I'm talking about, right? Are you feeling some kicker love?
Hey, he is talented.
Absolutely.
He's got perfect, well, I don't know about perfect. He has excellent mechanics, which his striking on the ball is true almost every single time, except for the time that the Dragons got a little piece of that one and it went end over end and still got, 30 or 28 or 32 yards or whatever it was. But when he gets a full time to kick, he strikes that ball very, very well.
Breaking down the kicker. Denver Colgrove makes an appearance in the ball game. Denver from Dickinson gets 1.5 yards, and that should be the final play of the 3rd quarter. I can't imagine Steve Lockway would be in any rush with 8 seconds remaining. Do you snap the football? Or is he just being cheeky? He's cheeky because he's happy. His team's up by 21.
Okay, Dragon fans, it's time to see if one lucky MSUM student will.
First thing I do every morning when I get up is look out the window and see what the sky is doing. The neighbors kind of all know I'm into this, so I'll get calls or texts saying, there's 2 eagles in the trees over here. I have a lot of relatives who live in other parts of the state, and they see them on TV, and it always kind of makes them feel like they're connected. Keep an eye on the sky and be ready. You never know what might show up.
It's a little more active inside of Nemzik Fieldhouse. Alexis Kennedy and I will have the honors of calling the Dragons volleyball match versus Minnesota Duluth. The Dragon women, or the Dragon volleyball team, Don, trying to get off the schneid. They've taken it on the chin recently. This Dragon football team took it on the chin last week. Now they're trying to get back into the win column. They have 463 yards. They have dominated in every statistical category this afternoon.
No doubt. Bryce Meal, 16 for 26, a quiet 253 yards. And I say quiet just because it hasn't been long passes or anything like that, but he does have 2 touchdown passes, one to Grady Bresnahan and one to Jake Richter.
He just gets 16 more yards to his credit, and you know why? That's the old yak.
Yeah.
The yards after catch.
Right? It's about a 2-yard pass, and then his receivers are doing the work. Yes.
His receivers yak.
Yeah, they do. Yards after catch is what he's saying, folks.
All right.
And then you couple that with his quiet 7 rushes for 44 yards and a touchdown. Bryce Meal has done a perfect job of running this offense today for the Dragons.
And he may have more, but probably the better option is Zach Simons, just because he runs the Wildcat so well.
Oh, yeah.
Usually the quarterback would stay in, but now you see the Baltimore Ravens, for example.
They
have Joe Flacco, but when you have a talented kid like, Jackson
yes.
from Louisville, the first-round draft pick, and he can get into the end zone, Flacco cannot. And that's my bad Baltimore.
Well, he can, but not from that far out.
My bad Baltimore accent, Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
He got 7 yards. Meal did. Here's a little pitch. Colgrove gets, he might have even lost a yard. Just underway, 4th quarter. Don and I having just a little too much fun.
It's always fun to be around football and love the game. Nothing better than Dragon football.
Little rainy Saturday afternoon. Who needs to rake the yard? Do it tomorrow.
I'm inside. Sorry.
Alexis just looked up here.
Sorry, Alexis.
Yeah, you look up. Yeah. She's like, yeah, come on down here. This hood's only good for so much.
Raking leaves in the rain is not any fun either.
No. Colgrove on the swing. He'll get the first down after he gets upended. That is Denver's 6th catch this season.
Nice swing pass. Kind of a wheel route. He didn't have to wait for that one. Like the same pass pattern that he hit Zach Sweep downfield on after Zach Sweep went in motion across the backfield and then did the wheel route up the sideline. There, Denver Colgrove was upfield, and all he had to do was look back for the ball. Bryce Meal delivered a strike.
Meal, watch out. Boy, that was blown up by Keontae Goudeau, and that guy, he just scored a deuce, right? On the botched extra point. He was thinking triple that.
Pick 6 right here. All he needed to do was have a stickier pair of gloves, and he might have been pick 6. He read that play the whole way. If he was reading Bryce Meal's eyes on that play, I would venture a guess anyway, because he knew he had over-the-top help, and he jumped that route.
Denver Colgrove, 15 yards and a first down. We want to welcome those who watched Augustana beat Concordia St. Paul down in the Twin Cities, 52-24. And we're probably welcoming some viewers who don't want to watch Minnesota Duluth's rompage of Minnesota Crookston anymore. End of 3 from Widseth in the rain. Duluth 56, Crookston nothing. If it was a fight, they'd stop it.
Oh, my goodness. Throw in the towel is what you're saying?
From the 26, old Howard Cosell.
Yes.
From the 26-yard line. Meal with time. Throws. Evan Moore. It's an Evan Moore sighting. Just his 2nd catch this season. Moore had a terrific freshman and sophomore year. His numbers have steadily declined, but he's a talented guy.
Again, another great route runner. Evan Moore does a nice job of being able to find an opening, sit down in that zone, and then come back to the ball for Bryce Meal and make that catch, get some positive yardage. Nice job by Evan Moore.
Just his 2nd catch this season. He put up pretty good numbers behind guys named Broughton and Gibson. and Bresnahan for the Dragons. Colgrove hopping and stumbling down to the 11-yard line. How about this one? Have you ever seen a 55-2 score? It's happening in the Heartland. 1:54 left to go. It's Minnesota State Mankato 55, Wayne State 2.
Wow.
Winona State
that's all you
Southwest
can say on that.
in
Wow.
a good one, 25-19, 8:05 remaining. How about Bemidji State up 37-17 at St. Cloud early in the fourth quarter? This is Meal looking for the end zone again. Touchdown. The Dragons hit half 100 as Meal scores his second rushing touchdown today.
Nice read by Bryce Meal. We'll see right here. Pulls the ball out of Denver Colgrove's belly. Reads that as the defensive line was just crashing down on Colgrove, and there is nothing but green space and a lane right into the end zone for Bryce Meal. Nice job, Bryce Meal, and the Dragon offense coming back with another scoring drive.
Chesvold, an opportunity with a better snap. 10:57 left to go. The Dragon lead is large.
This is Dragons Live.
Update or download to the all-new MSUM Dragons app on iTunes and Google Play. The new app features customized following of only your favorite Dragons teams, incredible in-app live stats and media coverage, and our fired-up rewards program all in one easy-to-use app. Update your Dragons app, search MSUM in your app store, or visit msumdragons.com/app to download the new MSUM Dragons app today.
Don, drive me.
10 plays, 73 yards, capped off by a Bryce Meal 11-yard touchdown run. The extra point, Joe Chesvold, is good. Time used on that drive, 4 minutes and 29 seconds for the Dragons. Dragons lead 51-23.
Chesvold, the approach. This is a free football until now. It goes into the end zone, and Minot State is going to take over. So this is going to be, unless something catastrophic happens in these final 10 minutes and 57 seconds, a well-earned victory for the, still a lot of time left, but I mean, they were tested by Minot. The score, I don't know if the Dragons are 4 touchdowns better, or if we're even going to talk about that, but you know, the Minot State made this a football game back when it was 17-14.
And we got to go back to what the coach says too. Hey, Coach Lockway, it doesn't
There
matter.
he is.
Doesn't matter if it's 1 or 100, on a win or a loss. Doesn't matter what it is. It's either a W or it's an L, and you have to learn from either or both. In any case, in this case, they can win this game in 10 minutes and 52 seconds. They can win this game, but there's still a lot of things that they can work on to get better at. And they gave a lot of life back to the Beavers here and there. Now, you have to say also that the Beavers earned some of that life and some of the momentum that they were able to grab during this game.
Minot State's offense, last in the league, just 254 yards a game. They have 238 as of this moment here on 2nd and 10 as Strand shows blitz. Here's Bolinski. A little toss. Webb, not much. He might have even lost a yard. Alexis, I'm not going to ask you if the sun's shining. Are the boots keeping your feet dry?
Yes, and it actually has stopped raining a little bit, but little adjustment here on the Dragon side. Seeing some guys that you haven't heard of, Evan Moore, Denver Colgrove, them coming in, but also there might be a quarterback change coming up with Trent Ricker, so look out for that, guys.
You know what? Trent Ricker's been hurt all season long. Listed as a receiver, Zach Simons, who came in as a quarterback, is playing quarterback in the Wildcat, but mostly a running back, and now we're going to see a wide receiver potentially play quarterback. Alexis, thank you for confusing me. 10-10 left to go as Bolinski pirouettes, and now he's going to throw it away. So the Dragon defense is going to get a 3 and out, and now we're going to get to see who plays quarterback, as I know Alexis was behind the offensive bench down on the field.
And she's getting some, what do you call it, insider trading information. So insider.
It's also getting lighter out, so.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not the sunshine, but it is getting brighter. The lights are not on here. I don't think we need the lights here today, as this game has just 10 minutes and 5 ticks left. This is Jose Luis Moreno against the wind. A wobbler. That's still 38 yards with no return. 51-23, 9:56 left to go. I see Meal. Is he going to come out? I see Trent Marquardt is going to get some time. Monet Swafford has played some offense for the Dragons this season, wearing number 2. He has 1 catch. It is Bryce Meal that's going to come out. I understand why there was even a conversation that Alexis poked her nose in. But you also want to protect Meal because Sinani might even be done this season. We don't know. We knew he was out today. We saw him walking in his gray jersey, which means he was not going to play today. So you want to protect Meal here today and just try to get out of here without an injury.
Yeah, and right now I think that they can hand the ball off enough and keep that clock running and just kind of salt this game away. He's got a plethora of running backs to use, so.
$10 remaining on the play clock. This is Colgrove again. Denver, earlier this season, was the number 1 quarterback, or I'm sorry, the number 1 running back after Herman Gray. And then here we go, there's an injury. One of the Dragons is down. But Herman Gray started the season as the number 1 running back, the junior out of Las Vegas, broke his ring finger in the game against Minnesota Crooks and had surgery on it after the Dragons went to Duluth, right? And he was out. By the way, the injured Dragon is Brady Emerson out of Moorhead High School, so Brady's being attended to. We'll keep it right here. And then Denver became the number 1 running back, and Zach Simons just kept running the ball harder and harder, and Steve Lockway inserted him as the quote-unquote number 1 running back. It just made Denver Colgrove work harder. It wasn't a competition. It's all, you know what? Maybe Zach's playing a little better right now, so we're going to feed Zach just a little more than Denver.
Oh, no doubt about it.
With some Jokum.
And with some Jokum. And, you know, they've had by committee, they've had guys that stepped up in different times and different games and were able to carry the load. Ty Jokum, a couple of games, over 100 yards this year. And, you know, just pass it on to Denver Colgrove. You know, you've got Zach Simons. Zach Simons gives that extra little flair because he came here as a quarterback, and you put him back there, and he can take the direct snaps. The defense has to look at it and go, holy cow, this kid can throw the ball also. We got to watch for that. And he runs the ball like a fullback. So he presents something that's just a little different for the Dragons when they line up on offense.
Now the rain is coming down harder, so we've hit a little heavy shower here. But the focus right now isn't on Mother Nature. It's on Brady Emerson, a one-time starter for this Dragons as an offensive lineman. Emerson, number 79, being carried off the field. The 6'3", 292-pound junior who played his high school ball over in Moorhead. As Colgrove is going to get stopped on 3rd down. The clock continues to run here with 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, and Minot State's going to get the football back.
Not a desirable series of plays on offense, but effectively doing what Coach Lockaway is looking to do, and that is just run the ball, don't turn it over, put ourselves in the opportunity to get a first down. They didn't do that, but now they need to punt the ball away. Now the defense is going to have to come out and perform like they have the last couple series.
This is a beautiful kick. Wind or no wind, Torgerson's going to let that go. And that's a 60-yard punt. We've seen 3 punts today over 60 yards. A 60 and a 67 by Oxendorf, and a 61-yarder by Jose Luis Moreno.
Both of these guys, when they connect smoothly and correctly, they're booming this ball today. Oxendorf at 6'6", and the kicker for the Beavers, Moreno, both are able to, when they have good blocking in front of them, they're able to connect and kick that ball in a perfect spiral, that time right into the end zone.
More kicker breaking down. Torgerson, watch out. He's squirmy. He's wild. He's speedy. Ray can't wrestle him down. Torgerson goes all the way down to the 6-yard line.
The only thing I'd say on this play, Steve, is that when Jerry Ray catches up to him, take his legs out, young man.
Jay Ray,
don't try to strip him. Just take his legs out.
69-yard run by Torgerson. Earlier today, he had a 68-yard touchdown run. 1st and goal from the 7. Webb in the backfield. Here's Lee Webb. Oh, and Michael Strand. Not on 1st down are you getting into the end zone.
Michael Strand turns that up. Right now, Torgerson had that big run there. 73 yards. Now he's ballooned his rushing stats with 11 attempts for 224 yards. As long as 73, that last one, averaging 20 yards a carry right now for the Beavers. One big bright spot for the Minot State Beavers,
who take a timeout. 7:23 left to go.
Another day. And just like every day, it never seems to slow down. But you have a plan. Grab a cup, grab the paper, and grab a little time. Just for you. It's worth it. Don't get the paper? Just grab the phone. Call now and save up to 60% off the newsstand price. Journalists, bringing the story home every day.
Now you can see some moisture on the camera lens, Don.
I know.
You know what the rain does, though? It makes this field look even brighter. It's getting darker, but yet the field is illuminating even more. That's the beauty of Shields Field.
It definitely is beautiful. Beautiful out here, even though it's raining. Of course, we're inside, so we don't have to worry about the elements, but it is a beautiful-looking field.
So your only artificial turf games were in the Metrodome, right?
No, we played a couple times over at Dakota Field, NDSU. That's about it.
But those were like concrete blocks under carpet.
That was carpet, exactly.
Bolinski throws incomplete as Webb couldn't come up with it. I remember those old fields. I mean, literally, it was like a thin piece of carpet. Now, I think the players prefer playing on it just because it's a little softer. It used to be where when it wasn't carpet on top of concrete, there were more Achilles and knee injuries.
A lot of knee injuries,
now
for
it looks
sure.
like the scientists or the technologists have gotten it right to where you see less and less of those injuries.
They call this a field turf for a reason, that it's about 2.5 inches thick.
Yeah.
So, and it's got all these little rubber pellets in there, and you can tell when they've put new pellets in. It stands up better.
Bolinski looking for the pellets in the red-colored turf. He falls down at the 7-yard line on the green-colored turf, and down 28, Moreno's going to come in and try another field goal. Again, volleyball coming up at the top of this hour. Alexis Kennedy will join me as the Dragons will take on Minnesota Duluth. This is Jose Luis Moreno. This will be a 24-yard field goal try. He's 4 of 5 on field goals this year. This one has plenty of leg, and it's good. So we'll step away, grab a towel. It's 6:34 remaining. It's the Dragons 51, Minot State 26.
It's a new stay at the Courtyard by Marriott, located just minutes from downtown Fargo, local colleges, shopping centers, and several restaurants. The Courtyard features a 24-hour fitness center, 24-hour on-site Starbucks, and our bistro restaurant and lounge open for breakfast and dinner daily. Relax in one of our 2 indoor swimming pools and hot tub. The comfort your family needs, close to all the action at the Courtyard by Marriott. Visit our website or call 218-284-1000. That's 218-284-1000.
Don, as you can see the rain coming down, Don, are you surprised that Minot State kicked a field goal, or do they know? I don't want to get really, really cheeky, but have they thrown in the towel as far as this game?
Well, it was a positive play.
Yep.
It's points on the board. They were there. They know that their confidence is high in their kicker. Take the points. Never leave the field without points if you can get the points. I guess.
Okay.
As a coach, I mean, you know, if it was a 5 or a 7 point game, you go for it.
Of course, yeah,
you go for it. But in this case, it's positive yards, it's positive things, and that is putting 3 points on the board is a positive.
Small victories. Some confusion. Devin Homer didn't want it. And here goes Trent Marquardt. His first return this year, and it's a big one, all the way up near midfield. In fact, they're going to mark it right at the 50-yard line. So a lot of different guys dressed in red having some fun today.
Well, getting an opportunity to showcase themselves in a game situation. They practice every day just like the starters do. They put their time in and they learn the offense and they run the plays. And we are going to see a change to Trent Ricker from Oregon, Wisconsin, 6'3", 215-pound sophomore in at quarterback.
And he'll give it to Ty Jokum. His first run today, Jokum averaging 5 yards per pop. He even has 3 touchdowns, 50 carries, 250 yards, and he's just given the Dragons some great depth as we take a look at the coaches cam presented by BSN. MSUM's Nike and Under Armour partner is BSN. So Jokum, I mean, so the Dragons, to me, they have 4 legit running backs. Gray, Colgrove, Simons. This Ty Jokum could be a number 1 on somebody's team.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He's a hard charger.
Here goes Ricker.
And like I said earlier, we've seen him put up a couple hundred yards in his 200-plus yards is in like 2 games. He's got 2 games where he's gone over 100 yards.
Clock continuing to wind. 5 minutes, 23 seconds left to go. So it's 3rd and 1 from the 41-yard line. Ricker hands off to Jokum. There's that speed. Boy, he saw the right tackle and then just found a little bit of an opening and blast through. And he gets a first down. I'm looking on the other side, and I'm seeing guys that have not played a lot for the Dragons this season. 4 minutes, 44 seconds left to go. Ricker gives it to Jokum, no gain.
Ty Jokum, pretty heavy load when he runs the ball. He's a 200-pounder. Tough kid. Watched him play quite a few high school games across the river for Fargo Davies High School. He set off into college, went up to Crookston for his freshman year, transferred down here a year and a half ago, and now putting up some numbers for the Dragons, and right here working with Richter in the backfield.
4 minutes left to go. The Dragons putting some finishing touches on what is going to be their 6th win of the season. Here goes Jokum. The guy's got speed. He also lowers his shoulder and picks up good yardage. That will take this drive almost to the 20-yard line as Jokum assessing, Getting a good block there by Nathan Belisle, who's still in the ball game.
And he doesn't like to go out of bounds. He's going to dig and grind for every yard he can. Nice job by the offense to pick up first downs and salt this game away.
The Dragons aren't done yet. Jokum, not much. There's a 7-car pileup at the 19-yard line. There's the 55-2 game. Woo. I'm sure everybody's going to race towards their Google machines and see how, not how Minnesota State Mankato destructed Wayne, but how Wayne got their 2 points. That's what anytime the final score is a 2, I want to know where the 2 came from, not the 55. That's just me.
We saw the Dragons here
give up a 2.
Bad snap and gave up a 2 on an extra point. So my guess, and if I was a betting man, I'd put it on that.
Jokum again. Grabbed this time by Matthew Ackerman.
Not a lot of room there. The offensive line getting pushed back by the Beavers' defensive line here. The penetration just kind of took control here. Ty Jokum got the handoff and had one step, and he had a white jersey in his face.
So the Dragons have to snap this ball at right around the 2-minute mark. Completion, and it's to Evan Moore, and he makes his second catch, and this will bring up 4th down. They're going to say his progress was stopped, and that'll continue to run this clock. And I don't think anybody on either sideline is going to argue about that.
I was just going to say the line judge there kept the clock running because the forward progress had stopped well within the playing field as Evan Moore ended up in out-of-bounds territory, but not until his forward progress had stopped.
Ricker, maybe he was instructed to go down. Either way, it's going to be a turnover on downs. And you know what? You were right, Don. When the score was 55-0 with 7:26 remaining, this is breaking news out of Wayne State. A botched point after try was returned by Dante Brooks of Wayne State, and that ruined the shutout. Final score, breaking news.
Gosh, I should have put I'm not a betting man, but I should have put some money down on that, huh?
Final score, Minnesota State Mankato 55, Wayne State 2. We here at Dragons Live cover all the stories.
Exactly.
Bolinski's day is finished at quarterback for Minot State. It's Kyler Sharp, who's thrown 20 times. He's completed 10. He's rushed 7 times for minus 34 yards. He's going to hand the ball off a couple times, and this game's going to be over. Stay tuned post-game. Don and I will break this thing down. Here's Sharp back to pass. Throw over the middle, complete. Malik Delbrun will get credit for a tackle. So, both Delbrun brothers get in the defensive statistics. That's one for the Moorhead, for the city of Moorhead.
On that reception was number 81, Devin Owens, 6'5", 245-pound junior out of Oakland, California.
And there's a sack as Connor Schultz gets in on a sack. What's that, the Dragons' 7th today?
Yeah, and that would be his 2nd. He was involved in at least one other earlier, so another tackle for loss.
And I think that's going to be the final play of the game. There's 10 seconds remaining. I can't imagine Minot State will want to run another play, and they don't. So the Dragons are going to get to the win number 6 mark again. They will move to 6-3. Minot State will move to 1-7 as the teams will converge at midfield. Our Alexis Kennedy is standing by, and we'll talk to, I'm sure, a happy Steve Lockway after he goes over and talks to Mike Aldrich. The Dragons, 2 difficult tests left to go at Bemidji and home against St. Cloud. Minot State They play St. Cloud next week, and then they're at Bemidji State. So Minot State, perhaps their last, well, I'm not.
Yeah, we can't go there.
A good chance at a victory today. They came up short as the Dragons come out here with the 51-26 victory.
Dragons did a great job today here in the second half, picking up the pieces and outscoring their competitors here, the Beavers, 27-12. Did a lot of great things. The best part about this day, number one, was no turnovers. They didn't give away a fumble. They did not throw an interception. And another bright spot would be, in my opinion, is Bryce Meal, and his play today was excellent. The coaches had a great game plan, and putting up 50 or 51 is great.
All right, speaking of great, Alexis Kennedy is downstairs with Steve Lockway.
Coach, wet game today, but second half your guys came out, kind of put their foot to the pedal on the gas. What do you credit to that?
Well, I think, you know what, we made a few adjustments at halftime. I think most of that was an attitude adjustment. We weren't pleased with how we played in the first half. I think got a little bit more fire in our belly, and you know what, came out just exactly like we wanted and kind of finished this thing off.
Yep, I feel like I talked to you about your defense a lot, kind of struggling with their identity maybe. What can we fix with that?
Well, I think defensively, some of it, we put them in some bad situations offensively, short field, just one busted play, and then a long busted play. So you really look at it and go, it's 3 plays probably that caused that. I think defensively we're doing okay. Offensively, we got to get in a better rhythm, especially early. It wasn't a great start for us, but we picked it up and some guys made some plays in space. Thought Bryce did a great job. First game, really getting back out in quite a while, and really did a nice job.
For sure. Thanks, Coach. Good job. Steve, down.
Alexis, thank you very much. Now Alexis will go inside, towel off, and she'll get ready to call volleyball with me at the top of the hour. 51-26. We'll take a break, and then Don and I will break this game down even more. Highlights, stats, a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, much, much more. You're watching live coverage of MSU Moorhead Dragons football, presented by Dragons Live on WDAY Extra.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shed?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Dave Eggers at 218-233-1334 today.
51-26, the Dragons win here over Minot State. Let's take a look at some second half highlights. The Dragons led it 24-14 going into this third quarter, and there's a touchdown pass to Grady Bresnahan, and the Dragons, like Alexis and Steve Lockway just said, they were off and running. This is probably going to be looked at on film. A long bomb to Connor Beeston, who holds it in, and it was 31-21. Then the Dragons were looking for a spark. How about Herman Gray getting in the end zone for the first time in 2 months? And then Grady Bresnahan getting a kick out of the end zone from Jose Luis Moreno all the way down to the 30-yard line. I'm sorry, all the way down to the 3-yard line. Bresnahan had a 20-yard return earlier in the ballgame, and then Zach Simons will do the rest. This made it 44-21, and then a botched extra point, and the ball was grabbed by McCutcheon, Latrell McCutcheon, and he got to show off his wheel. So it was an unusual 44-23 lead going into the fourth quarter, and then Bryce Meal doing what he does. Here's Bryce. You know what? That's Zach Simons' guy. We're not getting down to the 1-yard line. I'm getting into the end zone for the second time today. That made it 51-23. And then Jose Luis Moreno, maybe the best kicker in the NSIC, puts the finishing touches on the scoring. 51-26 is the final, Don. You look at the statistics. It's balanced, and it's domination by the Dragons.
No doubt. 8 more minutes of possession time. Again, the big one here is no turnovers on a day like today where weather became a factor. They were able to rush the ball for 247 yards and that was by committee. You had Herman Gray with 75 yards, and Zach Simons was 78, Bryce Meal 61, and Denver Colgrove another 30 yards. So 247 yards rushing, 288 yards through the air. Bryce Meal managed this offense today like a champ, and I did everything that the coaches and the players needed, his teammates needed him to do to run this offense today and produce a victory. Excellent job.
I want to give a lot of credit to Bryce Meal, too, because you know what? He's a starting quarterback this season, and then it was his team, right? He beat out Sinani fair and square. They go to Duluth. He gets hurt and has to watch Jacob Sinani do really well, even though he was healthy. But, you know, you always talk about the cliche of you're one play away from being the starting quarterback. Sinani got hurt, and now it looks like it's Bryce Meal's team today, and all he did was be spectacular.
Well, and quietly through the first half, we talked about it at halftime, it was kind of unassuming. And then things just kept piling up, doing the right things. No turnovers. That's a big, big thing. And any win, that's big. And any game you want to win, not having any turnovers is a big thing.
Don and 0 again.
Yeah.
Let's do an electrifying play
it's
of
good.
the game. Yeah. You know what? There's a lot of different choices that we had. What did Alex pick?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. This wasn't a scoring play. This was Zach Simons just blowing up Beavers. 1, 2, I think Don counted 7, including that one right there. Brought down by Chris Rivers. That's Zach Simons' run is our electrifying play of the game presented by Moorhead Public Service. We remind you to install low-flow shower heads and aerated faucets to conserve water and save energy on water. For more energy-saving tips, log on to brightenergysolutions.com. Saving energy, saving money. Our newsmaker of the game, Don, you could choose a lot. My vote would have been Bryce Meal. You know what? The crew came up with Jake Richter. He was great today when, as Alexis Kennedy reported earlier, that Minot State was focusing on him. Richter still had 7 catches, a couple of the stunning variety. 7 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Jake Richter is our newsmaker of the game, presented by the Forum of Fargo-Moorhead. Call 241-5445 today to get the Forum of Fargo-Moorhead delivered tomorrow. The rain is coming down, Don. We're going to survive without melting. Our crew is halfway done this great doubleheader here on WDAY Extra. And there's a look at our upcoming schedule presented by the Shuck Bus Service. I'll be at Bemidji next week. That's a huge one. That's the battle for the Axe as the Dragons will go for win number 7. It's an audio-only webcast at MSUMDragons.com next Saturday at 1 o'clock. And then, Don, you'll join me. And I'm looking forward to that one as much as I look forward to any of them. But that's going to be a special one against St. Cloud State, a team the Dragons have not beaten in 35 years. That game will be on WDAY Extras. We rejoin you one more time here inside the broadcast booth. I'm Steve. That's Don. And you, Don, get the final word today.
Final word today is it's a W. We talked about it earlier. We talked to the coach earlier. I talked to Coach Lockway, and like he said, he goes, a win is a win, a loss is a loss. L or a W, all we want to do is focus on the W, and they got the W today.
Number 6 this season. All right.
Right on.
For our crew, thank you very much. Alex, great job inside the captain's chair, and your job's not done. I will see him soon upstairs as Alexis Kennedy and I will call the Dragons volleyball match versus Minnesota Duluth coming right up. Once again, your final score on the wet football field, the Dragons 51, Minot State 26.
Prosperity is today's investment in tomorrow's promise, the promise of a better way of life. With every act of kindness, every act of creation, and with every act of love, we strengthen our community. And when we stand together as a community, we accomplish the impossible. We can choose to pass through life, or we can choose to pass on a better way of life.
Libby here with another lesson.
Okay, gotta make a list. Pay cable bill, research car insurance rates, get groceries. And my student loan payment is due next week.
You look stressed. If you're worried about money, try writing Math Plus.